and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you're being creepy again. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and just about everything under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So, first-time viewers, be warned. You can go off the rails pretty quick around here. So, if you want to keep the topic, on track, keep your questions to, painting related, right? Or don't. I don't care. Of course, if you're going to send questions, you can submit them in the chat, whichever direction it might be in for you. And of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can submit your questions to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send them off as links to other sites because it just won't do it. Mainly because there's ads and crap and, all sorts of gibbly-gook and, all that crap, right? So, yeah, please keep those emails coming in. Keep them rolling, as it were. Also in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all the silliness has links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling 24/7 there. So if you really need your questions answered, join us on the Discord. Or don't. I don't care. Also at wayofthebrush.com is links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. Of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com, as well as a link for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, this channel would not be able to continue, as there's all sorts of associated costs with this stuff, maintaining websites and servers and blah, 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 blah. So, huge thank you. There's varying tiers of support with perks associated with those tiers. So, check out whatever one makes sense to you and, is affordable and what have you. So, yeah. Check them out. A huge thank you. Everybody does. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, ringing the bell, all that interaction. Commenting. Oh, commenting's another good one. Commenting. Lots of comments. That's all to appease the algorithm god, right? So, everybody's got to say it, right? Everybody, I'm sure at this point it seems kind of redundant for all these, content creators to remind people to do these things, but here we are nonetheless. And speaking of being here nonetheless, big thank you to Carl, aka Guymere Alfer, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out. If you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl's where it's at. We always take the time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that play before the email segments of the show. And it's always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, like brotherly love, not man-on-man love. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not what this show's all about. Much love to my baby brother, Evan, for creating the intro music that plays at the begin and end of the show. And so always much love to my baby bro, Evan. Love. All you need is love. John Lennon. Oh, man. I don't know where the hell we're going with any of this today. Sup, everybody? Sup? That's for Ebb and Flow. Brandon B-Man. Top of the afternoon to you, sir. Dark Commission. Hi, Kris and Monkeys. Hi. And a kitty face. And a kitty heart face thing. I don't know. Sir Peanut Butter. Morning, Kris and Peeps. Morning. Yeah, so, we didn't do a show last week because, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't feel like it. I had other crap to do, and I thought, you know what, screw it. I got to get to this other crap. So I'm doing the other crap as opposed to doing this, even though this pays the bills, or in part. So, I mean, it's the age we're in, right? I mean, I pretty much, these days, I pretty much do not take days off. I work 7 days a week, like 13-hour days, some days. I'm up at like 7, 8 o'clock. I'm usually down here in my office, in my lair. Office sounds so boring, right? It's lair. It's my lair. This is my lair. I surround myself in all of this goodness. And yeah, I mean, you can't see all the goodness. You just have to take my word for it. But but anyway, yeah. So taking care of crap, but that's okay because you got sometimes there's other crap you got to take care of, right? And you can't concentrate on this until you take care of that other stuff. And that's something that I remind you guys all the time. You got other crap going on. Take care of real life, right? Home, school, work, whatever it is. You got to take care of that so you earn your time to sit down and play with your little soldiers and make their silver pants blue. You earn that time. You don't deserve it. You earn it, right? So, yeah, that's my whole mentality on that, as opposed to mentality on other crazy crap. But anyway, Evan Belleau, utter the litany of the algorithm god, or don't. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? You know what? I like that. Eb, it's been a while since we've picked one of Eb's comments. I'm already naming the show. That's it. I mean, when you hit pay dirt, like when you strike oil, you don't keep digging for oil. Well, you do, but but it's kind of unnecessary because you've hit oil, right? And we struck it. We've struck it. We've struck it rich, people. I know it sounds like I'm being quite full of shit right now, and I am, because I am always full of shit, but anyway. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Happy Saturday, Kris and Monkeys. Excited to get some stuff built. Are you? I started out in this hobby as, I would say, a model builder. Because I was building models before I ever got into all this stuff. Not like I was doing it to a high degree. I was just, killing time, between things and, when I should have been concentrating on my schoolwork and, stuff like that, right? And, I used to really enjoy putting together kits. Wasn't so much worried about, the finishing of them or anything like that. And it was basically once I started, kind of really getting refined and wanting to take care of seam lines and, making sure parts were assembled and pinned and, and whatever you can do, using the appropriate adhesives to make parts stick together. That's when I really started kind of gravitating more and more into, the miniatures and models and stuff like that. And, yeah, so I get you. But these days, though, assembling like this Warlord or the Warmaster Titan, man, that's an exercise. Anybody who wants a challenge, especially if you're only familiar with like Games Workshop type model kits, it's like for a builder, it's probably one of the best kits they put out in a very long time. As far as being a model builder, oh yeah, and like options, because like you can pose this Titan any which way you like, and yeah, so it's an impressive kit, to say the least. Hail Bop over on Twitch. Heyo. Bayushi. Hi, Kris in chat. Hi. Legion. How is the Titan coming along? I've finished the legs, or taken the legs as far as I'm going to go right now. I should say, not that I'm finished. Just as far as I'm going to go right now. I've got the torso all lined up, ready to go. I'm not sure. I may film a lot of it, because it's just going to be like redundant, because it'll be just like how I did the legs, right? Essentially, it's going to be the same kind of process. Although there are some key aspects on there that I do have plans that I most likely will show. I might breeze over a lot of it just because it is kind of redundant. I know some people out there, for continuity's sake, are concerned about that kind of thing. And, a lot of times, I'm sure a lot of you who know me have heard me say this many times, is I don't like to repeat myself, even though I do tend to repeat myself quite a bit. But anyway, yeah, especially in more creative, artistic endeavors, I I like once it's done, it's like giving birth. You cherish it, you hold on to it, and you develop it and you grow it, and then once it's given birth, it's out in the world, and you send it away. That's awful, I know. That's pretty much where the metaphor falls apart, but anyway, it's kind of like that kind of thing. I suppose it's probably nothing like, but, and I'm sure probably everybody's wives and girlfriends and, all the girls out there who have gone through childbirth are probably like, Kris, you fucking dummy. That's not it. That's not even close. I know that, for God's sakes. Sort of. The B-Man. I'm at work right now, multitasking like a gentleman. Are you still at the lumberyard? Or did you move on from that, B? I don't know. It's been a while since we've, talked. So, yeah. How you been? Sophie, happy sunny Saturday, monkeys. How's the delightful, talented Lord of the Monkeys, Kris? Wow, that's a mouthful, Sophie. It is a beautiful Saturday. It's a little cool, right, in my parts anyway. But the sun's shining. We had snow this week. Holy caramoles, we had snow this week. And yeah, it was only like one day of snow. It came down, we just got dumped on. We got I think 6 inches of snow. But it was practically gone by the next day. So, but a lot of snow. But yeah, a lot. I mean, for down in these parts, it gets pretty warm where I am in southern Ontario, and it was cold and snow. Bleh. But it's nice today. Sun's shining. There's no snow on the ground. The leaves are blooming. The birds are chirping. It is a good day. It is a good day to stay in and paint. TH Monkey. Hi, everyone. Hi. I suppose I should say I should scream it, but I don't want to scream it because some of you probably have headphones on and it'll probably blow out your eardrums. It looked like Buddy in The Fifth Element when when the president hits the bug with his shoe and his headphones come popping right off his head. That scene, every time I see that in that movie, it cracks me up every time because it's kind of a Looney Tunes kind of moment in an otherwise not serious, but I don't know. It's just a really kind of comical moment in, that movie. It's just, there's plenty of comical moments in that movie, but yeah. I watched the movie last night. Well, actually finished watching Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was hands down probably some of the best storytelling in the current MCU. I really, really enjoyed it. Of course, it was very, poignant to the climate in the world and in large in North America. Yeah, I enjoyed it though. And the only reason I would not give it a 10 out of 10 if I was judging it on a scale, I'd give it like a 9 point whatever. The only reason it loses points with me, it's only 6 episodes. I wanted more. I'm going to be a big baby here. I wanted more. I wanted more, Sam and Bucky. I wanted more of that. Because that was really fun. When it's just the two of them being just a couple of guys. Because you often forget, the superheroes, sure, they're super, blah, blah, blah. But they're guys, right? And it's, and it's just kind of a funny thing where, it's because pretty much any guy can relate, right? Like, they're friends, but only through their mutual friend. And so, can two friends who have a mutual friend be friends, right? This isn't right, but I think this means something else, doesn't it? But anyway. But anyway, my point still stands is that, yeah, it's, it's a good show, and it's I wanted more of the Sam and Bucky type stuff, and them becoming friends, and you know what I mean, yeah. But I still thoroughly enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed it. Where the fuck am I here? Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Still a converter first and foremost. Got some supplies on the way from Green Stuff World so I can cast a few bits and pieces. Oh, cool. Yeah. Hard edge painting. I'm concerned about Baby Yoda's consentment in the thumbnail. Nice one, Kris. Grogu's 60 years old. So, or 60 or 100? 50? I can't remember. They say how old he is. So, take from that what you will. The B-Man. Nah, Steel Plant and the Crane being good. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I knew your operator back when you were doing, I think it was not Domtar. But yeah. Okay, Steel Plant. Cool. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Kris takes 6 inches. More at 10. Oh, yeah. And take it. And it's like, you know what? Like, Kris taking 6 inches, no problem. It's like a hot dog down a hallway kind of thing, right? So, it's, yeah. I better stop with that right there. Just before I reveal too much. Hard edge painting. It's full-time spring here in Paris. Oh, nice. Saw it too. Let's agree to disagree. Oh, about how good Falcon Winter Soldier? Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. It was really good. Yes, clear leftist bias. Sure, yes. I mean, that's any mainstream media. Anybody who has, very right-leaning tendencies would see just about everything coming out of Hollywood as left-leaning or leftist, But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And yeah, it does. It's a big problem here in North America. I don't know if you've ever been on this side of the planet, but it's a big problem here. And yeah. He's not wrong. I mean, you can say it's right or left, but it's not wrong. Hard edge painting. I wanted less preaching. The Black Super Soldier idea was interesting. Yeah, well, he was from the comics back in the day, and I loved how they spoiler. Okay, spoiler. Falcon Winter Soldier. If you've not finished it yet, plug your ears. Spoiler. Okay. Okay, everybody plug their ears. Okay. I loved his outfit. I thought it was great, and I loved how it has the callback elements to the comic book, especially with his headpiece and everything like that. I'm not sure why in the comics, especially like, really early stuff, all the black characters, their outfits always, accommodate the hair. Like, like, why is that? Because you see it with Luke Cage, you see it with Falcon, right? And I'm sure there's others where like their fucking afro is popping out the top of their costume. Like, yeah, we get it. He's black. I mean, like, you don't need to fucking have a superhero with like this big fucking afro sticking out the top. I mean, it's not necessary. We know he's black. I mean, so yeah, it's just that kind of shit, from way back in the day. And then of course, like at least with like Captain America, in the first movies, his helmet, right, is a proper helmet. Like, it'll deflect bullets because he's super soldier, but a bullet to the head will still kill him, apparently, right? So he wears that. But Falcon, like, fros aren't bulletproof. I'm sorry to say. I mean, I'm sure some of you folk out there were thinking that there's something special about the fro. It's just hair. I'm sorry. It's not like a rhino's nose, because a rhino's nose is hair, but it looks like bone, but it's actually hair. And yeah, the afros don't do that. They're not bulletproof. Afros are not bulletproof. I'm sorry. Some of you might be really disappointed at that, but yeah. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, that Falcon, especially since his ass is flying around at like supersonic speeds and he doesn't have some sort of headgear. You know what I mean? Like some sort of helmet, especially to make him kind of aerodynamic, right? But, we can go over comic book logic and, real world physics and, you know what I mean? Like 40K, same problem, right? So, 40K, I mean, I've gone on plenty of times how stupid a lot of the shit is. So, it's when you really start to nitpick this kind of stuff that everything falls apart. Even actual real world things, right? And we can talk about religion and the way economics and, you know what I mean? And how once you start pulling at those threads, all of a sudden a lot of stuff, starts to fall apart because it's all made up bullshit, So, yeah. Derek Luters. Hey, everybody. Hey, Derek. Hard Edge Painting. The flag burners were not interesting in my opinion. The flag burners, yeah, not enough time developing them. Again, because it's only 6 episodes, right? Even though that the episodes are about almost an hour long, yeah, not enough time is spent really kind of telling their story, right? And especially because, in part, we're kind of supposed to empathize with them, right? And not enough storytelling is gone into them. But that's you can make that claim just about any of these movies. Not enough time is spent towards, for me, like Infinity War is probably one of the best ones because you really get into or get a really good idea of what Thanos is about, what his motivations are, his goals, right? We understand Thanos pretty good in Infinity War. And yeah. And it just, it's just character development, right? And stories anyway. Ghost of Starman Deluxe watched Return of the Jedi for the first time in probably the better part of a decade a couple days ago. Even better than I remember since it was my first time seeing the non-CGI Jabba's palace scenes. Yeah, Return of the Jedi, I thoroughly enjoyed. I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater when it came out. I was 83. I was 8. Yeah, I saw that one. My mom took me to that. And then afterwards, I bugged her for Star Wars toy. And at the time, they had the trooper, the biker trooper on the bike. And the old toy, you used to hit the front and the bike would break apart deliberately to represent, exploding and, what I mean? Like, so you can do that kind of thing, right? So, yeah, I had that. And I also had a few of the Ewoks as well because they're fun. But anyway, yeah. I saw Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi in the theater when I was a kid. Board Game Maniacs. How's it going, Kris? Not too bad, Rob. Go Starman Deluxe. Got to catch up on the Marvel stuff. Not seen WandaVision or Falcon Winter Soldier yet. WandaVision was really good as well. It's different. It spends a lot of time with Wanda and, how this whole, situation develops and why she's doing it and, all this stuff. Like it's, and of course, it's the first time, well, spoiler, that we call her Scarlet Witch. Because we all know she's the Scarlet Witch, but it's the first time. But anyway. Board Game Maniacs, Afro Samurai. Yeah, is it? I've never watched Afro Samurai. But he's a samurai. There's no guns in Afro Samurai. Is there guns in Afro Samurai? I imagine maybe like muskets or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea what time period Afro Samurai takes place. But anyway, is his afro bulletproof? Yeah, I don't know. Sophie Wild, not even seen Falcon Winter Soldier yet. Being on The Last Kingdom fix at the moment on Netflix, it isn't bad to watch. The Last Kingdom. Not familiar with that one. The Last Kingdom. Interesting. It's interesting. I don't spend too much time on, movies and TV and stuff like that. And, usually it's the evenings, I guess. A few hours in the evening. It's family time. and we'll watch like, you know, a show, either something new or something, you know, we've previously enjoyed. Like I've been rewatching lately. My Name is Earl, because Disney Plus started up Star, which is all the Fox stuff, and so a lot of the classics are on Disney, and My Name is Earl's on there, and so we started watching that, and that show was too funny, too funny. And yeah, would that show get made today? Probably not. But the humor in it still stands. It's a funny show. Cock King 5555. I have a friend that wants to paint their army after the Bengals. How do I convince him to paint them as the Pittsburgh Steelers? The heart wants what the heart wants. You know, I mean, if man, you should see this house, man, on football Sundays, because the wife is a Bengals fan and the boy is a hardcore Steelers fan. I'm a Steelers fan, but I only really got into football when my son was playing football. I only really got into it because he got into it. And you know, yeah. But I mean, I was a Steelers fan about 2000, because I used to play NFL 2K with my brother-in-law, and I used to always take the Steelers because, you know, I like the colors, I like the team, and I used to like the playbook. And the stats at the time in 2K were pretty good, so, you know, yeah. But he always used to take the Raiders because he's a Raiders fan, because his dad's a Raiders fan, so, yeah. Anyway. Ghost Star Mandalux, bro, the things I would do to see a OT in the cinemas. Yeah. Soon enough, we'll all be back in cinemas, I think. Maybe. Who knows? You know, like, in the future, in the far future, who knows what, like, you know, we keep, like, everybody keeps talking about going back to normal. And I don't know if we will ever reach that kind of point again, because especially with how, you know, it's really how we deal with a lot of these infectious diseases flying around, really. You know, I think that has to be addressed, as opposed to just simply, you know, imposing curfews and lockdowns and stuff like that. Like, we're addressing symptoms and not addressing, you know, the problem, right? So how do these things spread so fast? How do they keep mutating, right? How, you know, vaccines help prevent, but, you know, what creates these things? What, you know, what are the environmental circumstances in which, you know, these things are occurring and then also spread like wildfire, right? I don't know the answers to those. I'm asking. Board Game Maniac, speeder bike with the Scout Trooper toy. Loved it. The button on the back, yeah, the button on the back was modeled in the back seat, and then you pushed it and the bike would explode. Yeah, well, because Rob's like, I think you're what, a year or two older than me? You're old balls. So yeah, you were probably playing with that as well back when you were a kid. At the turn of the century. Dark Commission. There's a great bust of a sci-fi African lady with an afro and a 50s style ray gun. It's on my list for when I can afford it. It's called Lady Sheba Shane by FER. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, again, 50s, 60s, you know, and they you know, they include, you know, these black characters, and yeah, their fucking afros are always sticking out. Like, you have to draw the afro, otherwise you don't know it's a black person. Like, it's just kind of hilarious. It's the same thing that, like, when they do depictions of, like, Native Americans. Oh, you gotta always have the long hair and the feather. You know what I mean? There's always got to be a feather hanging from the head, and he has long ass hair, right? You know, it's just kind of craziness. It's you know, it borders on stereotypes, and you know, is it bad? Is it good? It's not really either. It's just, you know, it's a stereotype, and it perpetuates it further. And whether or not that perpetuates in a negative way or a positive way, you know, is debatable as well. But, you know, you need to have these conversations. But it seems like every time somebody brings up something of some sort of actual interest, oh no, everybody's can't talk about that, can't talk about it. Oh no, can't talk about it. It's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. But also remember too, when two people are talking, they're both bringing their own biases to the conversation. And true open-mindedness is listening to somebody who has biases, think about it, reflect, and accept that those are the biases they operate under. You're not going to change their mind. You know, you're not right. And if you're offended, you know, it's okay to be offended. Hard edge painting. That does sound like a terrible idea. I don't know which one. I've been spouting off about a bunch of stuff. Go Starman Deluxe. The Alien movies were Fox, if I recall. Are they on Star? Yes. Yeah, the Alien movies, I'm pretty sure they're all on Star. And you don't pay extra. You don't pay extra for it. At least not yet. I was kind of surprised because I thought Disney would bump their price, but maybe they will later on down the road. I'm sure they will. Mind you, though, unless of course, you know, they find that, you know, when they're streaming these brand new movies and stuff like that, you know, because like we watched Mortal Kombat last night. And it costs, you know, a fair amount to rent it, and it's just a rent to stream it, right? Because you can't go to the theaters right now. Well, at least in our area, we can't go to the theaters. And, you know, the price tag is like, wow, that's pretty goddamn expensive. But if you factor in at least two people watching it, that's cheaper than going to the show. Because a lot of times it's my son and I that go to the shows to watch this kind of stuff. Like if we went to the show to go see Mortal Kombat, it would most likely just been the two of us. It wouldn't have been a whole family or even the wife and son and I. Usually, a lot of times it's the wife, son, and I that, you know, we catch a lot of movies. But usually it's just my boy and me. And, you know, but you factor in at least two people going to the show or renting this movie and renting the movie, streaming it, it's cheaper. And so you factor in, say, four of us to watch the movie, right? That's way cheaper than actually going to the theater to pay, you know, damn near $20 a seat, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway. But yeah, the Aliens movies on Fox, yeah. On Star, yeah. There's lots of stuff on Star. Lots of stuff. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Seeing Star Wars in the cinema in 77 is definitely one of the best things I would do if I had time machine. Yeah, it would have probably been pretty cool to experience Star Wars for the first time in 77 when, like, there was nothing else like it. Yeah, definitely. Groundbreaking. It was groundbreaking, right? That's why, in part, it was, you know, so special and captivated so many people, because nobody really saw anything like that on film. You know, nobody, because I mean, well, shit, people go on and on about the technology that was created to make that movie that still persists to this day, making movies, and you know, they innovated a lot of that stuff, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's in part why it was a phenomenon, because nobody saw that shit before. Nobody saw it done that well anyway, right? So, yeah. It only makes sense. Board Game Maniacs. I'm going to transfer my Citadel paint pots to shaker bottles with the ball bearings in it. Do you recommend any way to transfer them, as in add any flow aid or anything? Old balls, Kris. Flow aid, you mean? Yeah, flow aid. Flow aid. Flow aid. I know what you meant. Honestly, like if you're transferring Citadel paint to dropper bottles, why not just buy paint in dropper bottles? Like, because there's a certain degree of waste in transferring paint into dropper bottles, and it's a waste in time, and it's a waste in paint. And also, it costs more because you have to buy a whole bunch of bottles, buy a bunch of bearings, or, agitators, whatever you're using for agitators. There's all this additional costs. Just so you can have your thick Citadel paint in a dropper bottle. Right? You add thinners, well, you've changed the structure of the paint. So you're taking more time. You might get the mixture wrong, too much, too little, whatever, right? Again, a little bit of experimenting to get it all to happen right. It's wasteful. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your resources. I mean, if you want to do it, by all means, go ahead and do it. Personally, I wouldn't do it. The only thing I would recommend is the Lamian medium, contrast mediums, putting them into dropper bottles. Because having something like that in a paint pot that can get contaminated fairly easily, it only makes sense for those to come in a dropper bottle. So you can just add a drop. You know what I mean? And you can get consistency that way by having dropper bottle in that fashion. If you are, very conscious of your efforts in how you gather your paint from the paint pot, it's minimal waste. If you're always working from a palette, again, no big deal working from a paint pot. When I work with my paint pots, I don't leave them open. Although contrast, I do. I do have a tendency to leave the bottle open on my table while I'm working. That's because usually I'm not working with the contrast that long. But even that is kind of a no-no. Like, you really shouldn't. You should gather your paint, slap it onto your palette, work with it there. But yeah, Citadel paint to dropper bottle, in my opinion, is a huge waste of time. Not a huge waste of time, I shouldn't say that. Unless, of course, your time is very valuable. You don't have a lot of time, No, just buy bottles that come from dropper bottles. Just buy paint that comes in a dropper bottle and has agitators, like Scale 75, Golden High Flow. I don't know. Does Army Painter have agitators in it? I don't even know. Reaper. I think Reaper has agitators. Their Master Series. I think it has agitators in it. I've got a bunch of those paints around. I got so many, like, behind me, I always have these paints sitting here. That's because of what I use most of the time. I don't really use a lot of Army Painter or Reaper. Just because, Yeah, I got cases down here. Oh, even my Vallejos. I hardly ever use my Vallejos. Most of the time, it's Citadel. And the only reason that you see Citadel paints in my videos predominantly is because whenever I show any other colors from other paint lines, invariably I'm questioned. Well, what would be the Citadel? What would be the Citadel? What would be the Citadel? So I might as well show the fucking video in Citadel colors, because a majority of people who watch my videos, it answers that first question. Well, what paint is he using? What colors? It's right there, right? So, yeah, that's the only reason. It's not because I think Citadel paint is the greatest. I don't think any paint line is the greatest. Any. I'm a huge fan of Golden High Flow. Huge fan. I'm almost a simp for it. But not quite. But yeah. TH, as a Danish person, I'd like to point but that we never wore horns on the helmets. Stupid Viking stereotypes. You're right, exactly. That's another one I see a lot of. The Viking and helmets and stuff like that. Yeah, that's complete mythology, right? Romantic painters depicting those times, for whatever reason, they threw helmets onto those heads. Not sure why, but yeah, Vikings didn't wear horns on their helmets. Yeah, I knew that one. I know some stereotypes. When I was younger, I used to deal a lot in stereotypes. Morton. Daniel CS. Army Painter sells packs of agitators. But But I was pretty sure that their paint had agitators already. No? I don't know. It's been a while since I've handled Army Painter. Sorry, I was just checking to see it. Oh, I've got one of the... What is this? This one is the dark tone? Strong tone. No, it doesn't have an agitator in it. At least I don't hear one. See, some ASMR for you guys. Of course, for everybody who's only listening to this and not watching, that sounds really weird. And no, I'm not doing that, but somebody out there is like, just listening to this and going, Jesus, is he beating his meat? Is he actually beating his meat on stream? That's probably one of my favorite expressions of masturbation. Beating your meat. Oh, and the other one I like is flicking your bean. I like that one too. That's a fun one. Because that just conjures up all sorts of imagery. Because like growing up, as a disciplinary action, I used to get a lot of pinch nucks, right? Whenever I acted up. And I acted up quite a bit. And yeah, I used to get a lot of those. And so when I'm picturing the flicking of the bean, it's like that. And of course I'm imagining, well, I don't know why I'd be imagining my dad, but oh boy, got a whole fresh new bag of issues to talk about with the therapist. But anyway, yeah, the old man, he had great big hands on him, and yeah. I don't know where this is going. But anyway. Oh, man. Clayton Brunn. I'm glad I came back to the monitor for reassurance. The facial expression was the great reward. It's the old beating the meat. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Never heard flicking the bean before. That's a funny one. You've never heard that one? Shit, I thought that was pretty common. I know like a lot of the girls will use that one. But yeah, flicking the bean. I can't remember when I heard that one. That was a while ago. But yeah. But I kind of figured that one was a fairly common one. Yeah. So you can ask any of your female flatmates, you know, how aggressive they are on the actual flicking part. That might be a little personal. That might get you kicked out. So, you know, just a little warning. Just a little warning. Daniel CS. The easiest way of getting dropper bottles is collecting yours and friends. Just put one drop of flow improver and a funnel. Gravity will save you more paint than any special process. Sure. Like I said, like I've only decanted my mediums. My contrast medium and my Lamin medium are in dropper bottles. Those are the only ones I felt necessary. But otherwise, Citadel paint, I mean, I leave it in the paint pot, you know. Again, I mean, if you want to take the time to do it and decant all your Citadel colors, and there's a bazillion Citadel colors nowadays. If you want to take the time to do that, I mean, you know, all the power to you. I mean, go right ahead. I don't. I think it's a waste of time and resources. But, you know, to each his own. Ghost of Starman Deluxe might just be less common on this side of the pond. Maybe. I don't. I guess maybe with all the accents, right? Maybe with all the accents, it doesn't sound quite right. I don't know. It might be kind of a North American thing because it is kind of an aggressive kind of expression, right? Flicking the bean. You're just flicking that thing, right? It's just. That's the first thing I'm thinking of, man. It's just like a big old pinch nut. So you hear that snap, kind of like a wet towel, just, you know. The question though does become, right? If we're gonna think about this, if we're gonna math this out, right? Let's start applying some logic here now, right? Which direction is optimal flicking of the bean? Straight down, straight up, side to side? Which way, right? I mean, that's up for debate, I guess. And personal preference, I suppose, right? Because, it's whatever way your partner likes it. I mean, hell, they might even like it straight on, right? I'm so glad I already picked the title of the show. Because guaranteed you assholes would most likely want me to use that flicking the bean. I'll get banned. I'll get demonetized. The B-Man. Siphon the paint out with a straw. Like stealing gas. Stealing gas, you just suck on the paint and then stick it into the bottle. Oh, shit. Get a good mouthful of Mephiston Red. Aztec, when does the new Warhammer game come out? The new Warhammer game. Are you talking about like the current, like 9th edition or 10th edition, I guess? Warhammer 40,000? Is that what we're talking about? Or are we talking about video game? Because there's a new video game coming out. What the hell was that game called? Battle Sector? Yeah, Battle Sector, I think is what it's called. That looks fun. I'm going to be honest. I might have to convince my daughter to let me play it on her machine, because I don't think it's on for OS X. I think it's Windows only. It's most likely Windows only, but yeah, I'm showing only Windows. Yeah, I'm looking at it on Steam. How much is it? No fucking price tag? Come on, Steam. You don't have a price for this thing yet? It said May. It's coming out in May. Join the beta. Join the beta. It's just kind of funny. Anyway. Yeah. Look up Warhammer 40,000 Battle Sector. This looks fun. There's some content creators out there who've already been playing it. Who've been playing, I guess, the demo. And it looks like a lot of fun. You know what? Here, let's jump screens. Oh, shit. I didn't prepare the screen here. Hold on. Let's go here. Yeah. Don't worry. That's just my desktop. My desktop is actually pretty boring. That's my desktop wallpaper. Pretty boring, right? Anyway. Yeah. So this... there we go. So this is, Warhammer 40,000 Battle Sector. This looks like a lot of fun. It's kind of like a digital version of the tabletop thing, right? The thing. Here, let's go to that screenshot. But like, it has a very kind of, not Dawn of War, because Dawn of War was real time. This is turn-based. So you move the guys. But anyway, yeah, check it out if you're not familiar with this. But I might get this game. I might get it. I just might. And then convince my daughter to let me play it once in a while. Because she has a Windows machine. Just because. So she can. She's playing The Sims right now on it, but it's fine. But anyway, yeah. Yeah. Greenleaf Terrain. Oh, huge dislike. Aw. Clayton Brun. I find that communication and variability are key in the bean flicking department. Right, I guess. Yeah, exactly. It is. There's a lot of communication, right? Because it's, how do you like it? This working for you? This not? You know what I mean? Like, is this getting you there? No? Here, let's try this, Should I pull on it? You know what I mean? Is it kind of like, got your nose kind of thing, right? I tried to say that all with a straight face. I couldn't do her. It's like, I got your nose. And then you flick it. Holy shit. Oh, man. Mike Grimshaw. Couple phrases my partner and some of her friends use is scrubbing the onion. Scrubbing the onion. Jesus. That conjures up all sorts of imagery there. And patting the bald man in the canoe. That's apt. That makes a lot of sense, really. That makes a lot of sense. Patting the bald man in the canoe. It's a bit of a mouthful, but yeah. Enforcer 357. I believe it's up, up, down, down, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, BA, select start. That is it. That's it. That's for infinite lives. Derek Luteris. Proper flicking direction depends on if she has a left or right-handed threads. Yeah, if she's left or right-handed, I guess, yeah. But, you know, but again, I mean, like the up, the down, right? Like side to side, straight on, you know. Is it a hard flick? Is it multiple, many flicks, you know? Or is it like one big one? Is it like the atomic, you know, pinch knuck? Do that, you know. I don't really recommend that one. Unless you're angry at her, I guess. It's like off the top turnbuckle and you come in and just... It conjures up all sorts of images in your head. It's like, holy shit, who the fuck actually does this? Goes to Starman Deluxe. Total War Hammer 3 is coming out quite soon. Been enjoying the first two a lot lately. You know, I have Total War. Is it 2 I have? I don't have my Steam up. Oi! King Julian, 420. Welcome. Here. For everybody who watches this show, there's a lot to digest. Everybody who listens, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he's just, you know, he's thanking the person for following. They don't get the whole pantomime section of it. Anyway, yeah, Total War Warhammer. I do have it. It was gifted to me by Tark, and yeah, haven't really delved into it though. I should. Clayton Brunn. I'm looking forward to the new Necromunda first-person shooter. Personally, you ever do much Necromunda painting, Kris? Well, I mean, the painting in the videos that you see, that is a majority of the painting I accomplish. So unless I'm streaming it on, you know, like live on Twitch, whatever, that's about it. If I'm content creators online are in a very small category amongst the rest of the wargaming painting community, because for any content creators who do this professionally, you know, as a day job kind of thing, they're not painting for themselves anymore, right? They're painting, you know, well, for me personally, it's because, you know, I'm educating and informing. At least that's the way I present it, is that, you know, it is a bit of an instructional for those who are following along. You know, some people might tune in who are brand new to this, and so I try to keep it, you know, fairly common denominator as far as what we're going over. And because, again, usually whenever I do anything, you know, different from the norm, I usually get a lot of questions, you know. And then, of course, you get other people who go, well, why didn't you do it this way? Or why didn't you do it that way? And blah, blah, you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's not the point, you know. But, yeah. So painting for myself, I do not do a lot of. I do not do a lot of painting for myself. I mean, I have, like, other I still have corpse grinders to put together. I have the character from Forge World, you know, the Eightfold Harvest Lord. I still really want to get to this guy. I haven't done it yet, you know. It's still sitting here. I have all sorts. I have the Necromunda tiles and the terrain from Dark Uprising, because I want to create a Chaos Fane, which will probably be the first project I do of terrain that I've done in a very long time. I'll try and film it, but the thing is, though, is filming it takes work, especially if I'm doing it as a tutorial. That's a lot of work. Not just, you know, doing the actual activity itself, but prepping it and, of course, recording it and then creating a finished product. And in fact, the product is no longer what I'm working on. The product is that video you're watching. So all my painting videos, honestly, I don't really care what they are. It is the end product that I'm concerned about. if that makes sense. Where was I? Oh, Necromunda painting. Yeah. But yeah, do I plan on returning to Necromunda painting? Yes. Oh, definitely. 100%. I'm still working on my damn ambots. I always say aimbots. Ambots. Because I want to finish them because I want to include them in my corpse grinders, right? So eventually, whenever I can afford them. Not the models. I mean, I can afford them. I obviously own them. But in my gang. Of course, which Ash and I mean, we have to finish our campaign. I mean, I don't even know if we're going to pick up where we left off. That was over a fucking year ago. Or if we're just going to start over. I don't know. We haven't really talked about it yet. I don't know. But anyway. TH. All right. The nose bit was top 10 funniest things Kris has said. Just the top 10? Really? There's only a top 10? Aw. I was hoping for a top 100 in the last year. I guess I'm not as funny as I think I am, I guess. Aaron Seach. Jesus Christ, what the fuck did I just walk into? Howdy, Kris and Monkey Peeps. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, Aaron Seach. What did you walk into? I don't know. Depends on when you walked in, because we've run quite a gambit already as far as what we've been talking about. Oi.
Without condoning or condemning, all fat meat is greasy.
Oh, shit. Thank you, Fire Drake. For the super chat. Without condoning or condemning, all fat meat is greasy. Holy fuck, that's too funny. I'm gonna use it. I'm stealing that. Fire Drake, I'm stealing that. I've never heard that, and I'm stealing that. That's too funny. That is too funny. And thank you, Fire Drake, for the super chat. Shit, that's too funny. Holy shit. Okay. Where the hell am I? I don't even know where the hell I am in this chat. Hard edge painting. I don't change the paint much at all by adding a few drops of water, and the waste created by the transfer far outweighs losing an entire pot to a bad seal. You can still get bad seals. There's still plenty of ways paint can dry up in a dropper bottle. The other thing is that, dropper bottles by very nature are kind of a problem sometimes. I run into this a lot sometimes when I'm working with my scale 75s, and sometimes you get a clog up in the nozzle, right? Because sometimes when you have an agitator, sometimes they get caught up in this nozzle part, right? And so you're squeezing and squeezing, and you think, oh, is it clear? And you pull some of the gunk off, and of course these infamously will always cake up with crap. Paint will get everywhere and dry up and cake, no matter if it's a paint pot, dropper bottle, whatever. It doesn't matter. But anyway, you squeeze and you apply a little too much pressure, and this entire cap pops out, and the paint, like I'm squeezing this right now, and no paint is coming out, right? Might just been a bit since I used this color. What is this color? Is this brown gray? It's a good color, actually. But yeah, no, I'm not spanking my meat again either. But anyway, yeah, I've had that happen a few times. Squeezing the bottle, the cap come right out. Happens. It happens. There's many ways you can make errors and waste, and dropper bottles and paint pots. The pros, cons when you really list them all out, are probably pretty close. Pros and cons of dropper versus paint pot. And yeah. Now, the only reason that people really rag on Citadel for paint pots is price. And okay, well, if you can't afford it or don't like spending the money on that, then go elsewhere. It's just water-based acrylic paint. It does not matter. It's all water-based acrylic paint. And not to say that you have to use water-based acrylic paint to paint your miniatures, because you can certainly use, enamels, oil paints, which kind of fits in that category. Regular acrylics like Tamiya. Tamiya is more of a solvent-based acrylic paint. I've never tried latex. I don't even know if there's latex paint that would work. I don't know. I've never tried it actually on miniatures. I've used latex for masking, but not the paint. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, the dropper paint pot conversation, in my opinion, is moot, and it's just people spinning their wheels. It's personal preference. Just like brushes. Paints and brushes, which is, I mean, you're something, anybody who's been listening to me for any length of time knows my opinion on brushes and paints. It's all entirely subjective. What's the best paint line? There is no best paint line. Every paint line has its pros and cons. Best brushes. Again, although mind you though, with brushes, most of the time I lean towards sable-haired, natural fiber brushes as opposed to synthetics. Even though there are pros and cons to both of those processes. But yeah, I prefer, for the most part, sable hair brushes for water-based acrylics, for what most of the time we are doing when you kind of get into the nuanced areas of miniature painting. But otherwise, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're looking at the wrong element here. You're looking at this problem all wrong. Clayton, corpse grinders and ambot? Yikes, ambots were scary enough to be flanked by Jews. Is going to be really scary for opponents. Yeah, well, it's just kind of fun, because basically I'm doing them up like, well, I've got one that's going to be yellow, so he's kind of like he looks more construction kind of thing, but I also have another one that is more of like a teal or aqua blue kind of thing, mainly because I want him to fit within the idea of how I painted my corpse grinders, which is more of meat packing plant colors, so they're in whites and like light greens and blues. That's how I wanted my corpse grinders, right? Because that kind of made sense, because it's kind of like a slaughterhouse, and you see how workers are dressed in slaughterhouses, and that made sense to me, right? As far as what corpse grinders being completely red armor. I mean, sure, thematically for Warhammer 40,000 that makes sense, but for me, applying just an ounce of logic, their colors around their surroundings and their work environment would look like a slaughterhouse. And so that's how I approach it. Just an ounce of logic, just not too much, because you can't apply too much logic to this stuff, because then it all falls apart, right? It's like a cake. Don't throw any baking soda in and it fucks your shit up. As opposed to too much, too little, not enough, right? Same kind of thing with logic. Throwing it into sci-fi. You throw it into Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, whatever the fuck. Whatever made up bullshit shit you're into, you start applying too much logic to it and it falls apart. So, anyway. Aaron Seach walked into the Monkey Lord holding his fist in the air like he was ripping off some poor bastard's nose and jiggling it like a little girl. Oh, got your nose. Well, because we were talking about flicking the bean. And, have you ever tried the got your nose move on the bean, right? Got your nose, got your bean. Holy shit, that's fucked up. I know. I even as it came out of my mouth, I knew it was fucked up. Oh, fuck. Okay, where the hell am I here? Dark Commission, I have a problem with Turbo Dork bottles as the caps have split. The caps have split? How'd you do that? I don't know. Scaled Model Muse. The cap. Yeah, I've had it happen, but I still prefer the dropper. Sure. Again, it's all personal preference. But to say that dropper bottles are superior to paint pots is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Because you probably, when you really draw them up, as far as pros and cons, they're probably pretty close in the amount of pros and cons you could write down per each one. So, again, it's pointless. It's pointless. If you want dropper style bottle paints, buy dropper bottle paints. Don't bother with Citadel paints. Just buy dropper bottles. It seems like an easy solution to me. I mean, because there's many paint companies out there who do dropper bottles. There's only a few who do paint pots. Yet, those two paint lines are pretty big. So that means that people buy it. What does that mean? Right? If a company like Privateer Press and Games Workshop still prefer selling paint pots because it makes them money, and money's the big factor here because those are businesses, and they sell, holy shit, even though that there's a plethora of other companies out there who do offering dropper bottles, and if dropper bottles are so superior, then why aren't more people gravitating towards dropper bottles? I'm asking for any of you out there, right? Because money makes the world go round. It's capitalism and all that shit, right? So if people stopped because apparently paint pots are so goddamn bad, apparently, then everybody would switch to dropper bottles, and Citadel and Privateer Press and all these other companies who produce paint pots would switch to dropper bottles. They drop the paint pot because it doesn't sell. Yet these big companies still produce them in vast quantities, and people still gobble them up. I mean, the market speaks with its dollars. So you tell me. Sir Peanut Butter. Happened to me. Lost half a bottle of scale 75 black metal. Oh, that's a tragedy. Yeah, black metal is such a good color too. Any wastage of that. Any wastage. Like, everybody who's really concerned about paint waste, if they're not working from a wet palette, then for me, the rest of their argument is in bad faith. They're just hating on Games Workshop, which tens of people do for a myriad of reasons. So, and if it's just Citadel hate, well, then it's just Citadel hate. It's a bias, and you're not going to change their mind, so don't even bother. So why even get into the conversation? You're not going to change their mind. They're hating on Games Workshop for whatever bazillion different reasons they have. They're just hating. Right? On Citadel. Yet, Citadel's the biggest. And their paint line is the biggest. With a shit ton of colors. Right? I mean, if people were leaving Citadel colors in droves because it was so problematic, then Vallejo would be bigger than both of the companies. They'd be bigger than Scale 75. They'd be bigger than, Reaper and Army Painter. And, like if those if those dropper bottles were so damn superior, those companies would be giants. Yet they're not. I mean, they're big companies, don't get me wrong. And there's also a bunch of them. But yet there's so many. So really, the dropper bottle market is saturated because you got MiG ammo, you got Andrea colors, you've got Scale 75, you've got Reaper, Master Series, right? You've got Turbo Dork, you've got Army Painter, right? We only have Coat d'Arms and P3, which pretty much are the same thing, one would argue, and then Citadel. For dropper bottle or for paint pots. Who else does paint pots? Do I have any other paint pots? No. I can't think of any other ones. It's just the price tags, really. That's about it. So, anyway, it's for me. It's a waste of time. It's a wasted argument. It's all personal preference. It's personal preference. And anecdotal. So, doesn't mean shit. Other than it's just your own opinion. But even then, some people's opinions are shit, so. The B-Man. I just got my Broken Toad brushes, and they have been really nice. Yeah. I've heard really great things about Broken Toad. I don't think I've ever used them. I don't think so. But, yeah. I've heard a lot. Good things. I only ever hear good things from Broken Toad. I think. But anyway. Scale Model Muse. You really need to get out more, Kris. I do. I really, really do. Yep, exactly on the bottles. I've been working on moving my Citadel to all droppers. Sure. Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to go through the route, by all means. But when people ask me about it, I tell them, I think it's a waste of time. You want to do it? By all means, knock yourself out. Enjoy. Personally, I find it wasteful. Waste of time, waste of resources, waste of paint. But anyway. Hard edge painting. The old school Citadel pots were great. The new ones still suck in my opinion. Availability is a thing. Sure. Lando Tucker. Citadel have always had paint pots, I think. Yes, they've always been paint pots. They've never done a dropper bottle. Yeah. I can't think of even way back in the day. But yeah. Hard edge painting by old school. I mean, coat to arms style. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those coat to arms. I mean, I bought some coat to arms actually. What did I buy? I got some. I only picked up a few, just because. And I made a video. Pretty sure I made a video about what is this? This is barbarian leather because I'm a huge fan of snakebite leather, and you know I didn't I do a comparison video on these two? I thought I did a video. I might have done a video on this comparing the two colors. But anyway, I picked up white and black because you know. You should. I do plan on doing, you know, some comparison stuff. But yeah. And then, of course, I had to. I got green. Goblin green. Goblin green. You know why Kris got Goblin green, right? You know damn well why I got Goblin green. Some of you out there are like, why? Why would Kris get Goblin green? Because if you look at all my models, especially for my Eldar army, they're all Goblin green. Even brand new models that I just bought, yeah, it's Goblin green. Because you know why? Fuck you. Anybody who tells me that Goblin green and goes, ew, and criticizes your choice of color for the base rim, that's fucking gatekeeping. That's gatekeeping. And gatekeeping is lame. So knock it off. Drop that whole fucking Goblin green. You know, whatever your argument is for it, for discouraging it for other people from doing it, shame on you. Shame on you. Scale model muse. Most paint is easy for me to get. I've not found any that I can't get at the shops. The ones I have to order, I wait for. Yeah, you know. Again, it's typically availability. And, you know, a lot of newer people who get into this hobby, yeah, they start off with Citadel paints. And they start gravitating towards other paint lines. Again, it's usually a lot of preference. It's all personal preference. You know, some people don't want to switch, especially if they started off with Citadels and they know how it acts. They can glaze with it. And, they're starting to do all sorts of fun stuff with it. More nuanced type of painting. Yeah, they don't gravitate. They don't move outside of Citadel line. Because why? Why bother? Because they're mastering their material. If you're an individual who's constantly, you know, moving through paint lines because somebody said this, somebody said, oh, this is the best paint. This is the best paint. This is the best paint. And you have you have like 500 colors of the same hue of red. Well, what's the point of that? That's wasteful. That's really wasteful. And getting really good at painting is mastering your materials and tools. So even if you use cheap dollar store water-based acrylic paints, but you produce wonderful results, does that mean the paint is really good? No. It just means that the person is mastering the material. That's it. That's all it is. So all this hype about best paints, this and that, I don't fall for that shit because it's all marketing. It's all about getting your dollar. I don't fall for that shit because the only thing that is going to make you a good painter is time, practice, effort, persistence, the 3 Ps, as some fella said once. The 3 Ps. Practice, perseverance, persistence. Although perseverance and persistence are kind of the same thing. But practice, lots of practice. Oh, and patience. Patience, another one. Or maybe it's practice, patience, and perseverance. I think that's what it was. I did a fucking video on it. Oh, shit. Where am I? Evan Belleau. You forgot to give Jason Kris some love during the list. Pro Acryl. I have Pro Acryl. Yeah. You even use it in the intro. Shame, shame. I use Pro Acryl in the intro? No, I don't. Those are golden colors. That's golden high flow. Yeah, you see the white caps? It looks like, like mustard bottles or ketchup bottles. Yeah, that's Pro Acryl does the very same thing, but no, it's because it's Nightfall Red that's in the video. You see me using in the airbrush. Yeah, no, it's golden high flow in the intro. But yeah, was that like a gotcha thing? But yeah, I did forget about Jason's Pro Acryl line. Yeah, and Pro Acryl paints. I mean, I've got their inks because I was really curious about their transparency. These colors, holy shit, these are really, really saturated. Using it through an airbrush, you should be mostly fine. I would still recommend using a thinner, just because I'm a big fan of like slowly building up to the desired result. Whereas the saturation on these, very, very strong, very impressive. But yeah, caution. The color is very, very strong when it comes out. So if you just slap it onto a model, holy crap, it's just gonna like you're gonna look at it and go, holy crap, that changed the value quite a bit, right? And usually with clear transparency colors, I'm usually bringing saturation back to the color. So like if I found that as I was bringing the highlights in and the color was becoming a little too much, it was tinting towards too much white, and I want to bring some more of that vibrant, if it was a blue and I wanted to bring that blue back, then I would use like a blue and a transparency and resaturate the color, but leaving all that highlighting I had done, right? That's the only really reason I use transparencies. And also to shift color as well. So like if you use like say a red and you're using a purple or blue or brown and you want to shade down with it, or something along those lines, right? And you can use a transparency and it'll give you all that color gradient and it will shift that color towards that other color you were laying down. Again, many different ways to go about getting your end result. And the only way you're going to get really good is mastering your materials and your tools and spending a lot of time doing this, right? Practice, lots of practice. You get to Carnegie Hall, practice. That's it. It's not a particular paint. No paint line is going to make you a good painter. No brush is going to make you a good painter. Practice. Perseverance and patience. Those are it. That's it. That is the main component to miniature painting. That's it. It's as simple as that. Again, this ain't rocket science. You hear me say that all the time. This ain't rocket science, and it's true. Because it's all within you to become good at painting. Anyway. Where the hell am I? I don't even know anymore. Lando Tucker. Some of the try-hard painters, the ones, buy entire paint lines when they're new. Sure. Right? And even if, company sends me paints, yeah, I'll check them out and look them. And, if I like them. I mean, it's not hard to get me to like a paint line. As long as it covers well. Right? Now, there are a few tests I usually do. And it's usually breaking the color down into thin glazings. There's a few things I do to test a paint line. And, yeah. And I'll judge it on that kind of thing. Scale Model Muse. My problem is, shiny syndrome. Oh, look at more paint. Yeah, exactly, right? But I mean, like, how many different values of red do you actually need? Like, the only reason I have so many paints from so many different companies is one, they'll send me stuff. Two, people ask me about them and I'll acquire the paints to test and compare because, for my own education as well. It's the only reason. It's the only reason I own so many paints. I have so many paints in my collection. It's not any kind of flex. Because like even having like this all behind me, this is not some sort of flex. This is where my actual paints sit. Those Citadel paints, I use those all the time. I just put them back. Again, taking care of my equipment, taking care of my shop, taking care of my tools, taking care of my materials, right? Take care of your shit. It'll take care of you, right? Maybe that's what I should change the slogan to. But yeah, And that's the only reason I have like all these different kinds of paints, is because I test them out and compare them against others, because people invariably ask me about it. And I'm more than happy to answer the questions. And if I don't see the answer out there, well then yeah, I'll go out and find out for myself. Somebody says, yeah, this color's really, really saturated. Okay, check it out myself. It's not bad. It seems comparable to the other ones. Again, whenever you get on this topic of paint lines, every paint line is going to say, yeah, we're the best one. Highly saturated color. You know, brightest, boldest, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? All these, jargon, right? Well, of course they're going to say that. It's a selling point. You're not going to buy a paint line that goes, yeah, it doesn't really cover on top of white very well. The yellow, it's kind of pale. It's not really that saturated. It's not bright. It covers, well enough on top of a regular kind of primer. But if like paint companies don't do that. They're the best paint, good coverage, solid color, bold, saturation, blah, 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 and it's just to sell you more shit. That's all it is. It's to sell you more shit. Nothing wrong with it. It's how this whole economy works. Selling you shit and making up shit to sell their shit so you'll buy their shit. That's it. That's all it is, man. You want to get good? Fucking get painting. Just paint. Paint. Could be cheap dollar store paint. Could be $500 bottle, Dom Perignon fucking paint. I don't think Dom Perignon makes paint, but my point being, it's $500 a bottle. Anyway, it's all very silly to me. I don't waste a lot of time on it. But if people ask me, well, how does Citadel paint compare to, say, P3 paint or Coat d'Arms paint? Well, I'll grab similar values and test them out side by side and have a look and see how they cover. And blah, blah, you know what I mean? Like, I run the paint through its paces. That's it. Very kind of analytical, clinical, pretty dry, But yeah, for my own information as well, my own education. Mike Grimshaw, you must master your tools like a fisherman masters bait. Oh, jeez. Dylan Bowery, 101. Hey. Scale model muse. Paint junkie. Oh, you're a paint junkie. Yay. Just hook it to my veins. I get you. I hear you. I know there's many of you out there who love getting more paints. Nothing wrong with that. But if you have it in your head that this is going to make you better, you're kidding yourself. If your goal is to become a more proficient and skillful painter, master your tools, master your materials, right? A brand new paint, even like Citadel Contrast. A lot of people were, even today, I still see like a lot of this negativity towards the use of contrast paints. And I don't understand why. It's just a clear transparency. There's plenty of paint companies who do transparencies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. So to me, all I hear is GW hate. It's just haters, right? And, it's ridiculous. It's all fucking ridiculous. How can anybody poo-poo on a particular paint line? It's just paint. It's just fucking paint, right? But anyway. Dylan Bowery. Hey, Kris, can I ask which paint company would be best to use to make a bone effect armor for Space Marine Terminators? Paint company? Pick one. It's not the company. It's not the company, and it's not, it's whatever colors. So, to make an armor with a good bone effect, okay, for example, I will talk common denominator, being Citadel, of course, if you weren't aware. But, yeah, I mean, like, one of the easiest ways to do it, this is super, super easy, is get, like, an off-white, like, for example, Wraith Seer, Screaming Skull, or even Ushabti Bone. Then get Skeleton Horde, Citadel Contrast. Lay it on top. Give it a quick dry brush of skeleton horror or wraith seer or Shabby Bone or Screaming Skull, or even add a little bit of white to that as well, and just do a little edging, and you're done, and it looks like bone. That's the fastest way. Otherwise, you're playing within the realm of an off-white, a warm off-white, because there is a cool version of it as well. There's it's got more blues and grays to it, as opposed to more browns and yellows and oranges sometimes. So basically, yeah, when we're talking that way, so it's an off-white, and I would base coat in that off-white. I would carefully thin out a shade wash. I wouldn't use anything like Agrax Earthshade too heavily, because that will change the overall value of that color and make it very dark, and then you're going to struggle to bring that color back up. And of course, the big question becomes, well, how dark and contrasty do you want it? And that is personal preference. You would have to look up some examples of bone colored type of color schemes and decide on how bright or how dark you want that bone effect. Also, are you going to get into actually making it look like bone, or is it just bone colored, right? Or what we equate to bone colored, right? Because bone colored is kind of closer to sort of like a khaki color, right? It's often described as more of a khaki-like color. Khaki color, though, tends to have less saturation, whereas a lot of bone will have a lot of really warm browns, some yellows, right? So again, it's a bazillion different directions you could go. Any particular company, common denominator, Citadel. You can go from there, right? And again, it's how do you want to go through some really lengthy steps? Are you prepared to take very lengthy steps to get to this end result? Or are you looking for something because you have 500 models and you want them all to be bone colored, right? If you've got 500 models and you want them to be bone colored, I would go with the most efficient use of your time and materials, which is base coat with a light bone color, use a Citadel contrast color, or you could use any other colors, because there are ways you can actually change a color to act like a Citadel color or a Citadel contrast color, but I made a video on that one as well. But anyway, there's many different ways you can get to the end result, but some companies have ready-made solutions for you right out of the bottle, and you can achieve your desired look that you want, And as you progress, the first time you do it, you might fail at it. Don't lose heart. Persist. Perseverance, right? Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it 4 times. You might have failed 4 times. That 5th time might be closer to success. That 6th time definitely is going to be closer to success. 7th, 8th, 100th, right? Practice, 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 practice. Keep practicing. Doesn't matter what color paints or what company of paint line. Doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. Oh, damn. I broke a nail. Anyway. What time we at here? Holy shit, it's almost 1:30. Have I been ranting and raving this long? Damn, we didn't even get to the Instagram stuff yet. We better get to that. Where am I? In the comments. Dylan Bauer at Kris. Can I ask which paint company would... Already said that. Evan Belleau. Like St. George, Carlin. A house is just a place to keep all your shit while you're out and buy more shit. Exactly. It is. That's exactly it. Right? Goes to Starman Deluxe. Take care of your shit and it'll take care of you. Makes you sound like some kind of butt doctor. Or nutritionist. Could go either way. No fucks given. Check out Homunculus movie on Netflix. Not dark elves, but as Asians and dark paranormal encounters. What? Not about dark elves, but as Asians and dark paranormal encounters. Okay. I mean, homunculus is a term. I mean, when I hear homunculus, I actually don't think of the Dark Eldar stuff. But yeah, I just think of more of a gargoyle type of thing. I've known a few people out there in the real world who were kind of homunculi. So, yeah. What? Oh, for fuck's sakes. Are you serious? No, piss off. I don't know. I think that actually might have been my appointment to get the vaccine. I just hung up on them. But anyway, where am I? Derek Looters. I'm using contrast over Ghost Tint Blue on Battletech Minis right now. Works fine. Exactly. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you don't have to use Citadel paint on Citadel models. You can use them on Privateer Press models. You can use them on, third-party garage kits. Like, it doesn't matter. 3D prints. You can use Citadel paint on 3D prints. I know, it blows my mind, right? But you can only use Citadel paints on Citadel miniatures? No. It's just water-based acrylic paints. You can use it on whatever the fuck. You can paint your house in Citadel paints. It'd be pretty damn expensive, but you could do it. Clayton Brunn. This is what is known as your personal bone tone zone. Bone tone zone. Dylan Bauer 101. I was wanting the fastest, efficient way to do it as I have 5k points Terminator Force. Oof. Oh, so Bone. So you want to go with Death Watch, right? Is that what the plan is? No problem. Yeah. The easiest way, personally, if I had 5,000 points of Terminators to paint, holy shit. Actually, it's probably not as big as you really think it is. But anyway, yeah, if I had say 100 Terminators to paint up, and I wanted them all to be Deathwing. Did I say Death Watch? Deathwing. Yeah, I would get Citadel spray or any spray can, I guess, that had a matte finish. So you'd have to shop around. You have to know what the qualities and what you want. Whereas if you buy the Citadel product, it's kind of right there and makes it easy for you, right? But anyway, you could find a bone colored or, that off-white with the qualities, but you'd have to shop around. And if you didn't know, then you'd have to ask somebody who knew. I mean, what paint line in particular had the same qualities as, say, the Citadel spray Wraithseer. But I would use Wraithseer for saving time of, talking about this. Wraithseer, prime all the models. Not a heavy prime, not too heavy. You kind of have to know how to prime your models, which is just a good even prime. Then I would take something like, Skeleton Horde. I would actually add a drop or two of medium to my palette, because I would take the color, put it on my palette, take my medium, add a drop, thin it down a bit, and then wash the entirety of the model. Let it dry, then come back in with, you could probably come in with a white, although I would probably use something like Terminus Stone, the dry compound. Make sure a lot of the paint is removed from the brush, and give it a very light dry brush, pretty much over almost all the entirety of the model. And then I would take something like Flesh Tears Red Citadel Contrast and pick out all the red details, like the gun casings, if you're doing them red. I don't know how you're doing them. You could be doing them green. I don't know. But either way, if I was doing the red, do the green bits, right? Pretty much contrast is kind of the way you'd want to go. And in fact, you could, to save yourself a small step, spray and Wraithseer, Skeleton Horde, wash. Pick out your areas in Flesh Tears Red. Pick your green areas out in, what is it? Cabal green? What is the Dark Angels green color? Creed camo? No. Orc Flesh? You could use Orc Flesh. What's the dark green? Dark Angels. Oh, it is called Dark Angels green. Oh, look at that. It's got sediment. Because it's been sitting for a while. Maybe I'll have to do a little video on that one. Anybody who's been following my Instagram or TikTok knows that I've been putting up these videos of these shaking the paints. But anyway, yeah, and just use that. Pick out the areas, give it a light dry brush, right? Use something like off-white, similar to like the Skeleton Horde, but not quite as light. Could also be white if you wanted to. Very, very light dry brush. We're talking like if you know how to like take a lot of the paint off and give it a slight dry brush, all great, because then you could hit all the red areas, all the green areas, and all the bone areas. And as long as that highlight is very, very thin and small, it looks fantastic. And in fact, if you really want to resaturate some of those areas, pick it out colors, and you can still do that. But otherwise, that's it. Slap your transfers on, bang, you're done. Do the base, rim it in Goblin Green, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, it's that would be the fastest way for me, short of an airbrush. An airbrush would speed that process up a little bit more, a little bit. Lando Tucker. I would just dry brush a bone color on top of a light brown base and then pure white on the exposed edges. Sure, but that's already one more step than what I described, because basically I'm talking about you prime it in the race here, you hit it in the contrast, thin the contrast out a little bit. You can apply it heavily, but I would thin it out just a bit. Pick out your other areas and the other colors, give it a final dry brush, and you can be done. In one color, you could dry brush all that in one color. So you'd have the bone, the red, and the green. You could dry brush that in an off-white. The off-white will look fine on top of the green. It'll look fine on top of the red. And it'll obviously look fine on top of the bone. And you're done. That's it. Slap the transfers on. You're done. You got a completed model. Lando. Makeup brushes changed my life. Like, yeah. Fire Drake 18. We should really tell Kris about those blackouts. When he stares at the screen for 30 minutes without blinking, it's time to stop being polite. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if that was actually happening to me? Here I am thinking I'm talking for many hours when really I was just sitting here staring at the screen. Then why would you all tune in? Why would anybody tune in at that point? Why would you say, like, Kris is staring at the fucking screen? Yeah, every Saturday he stares at the screen. I don't know what's going on. The guy's crazy. Ghost Starman Deluxe. But Kris, you said that when someone uses paint with the wrong brand of minis, you have to reset the universe. Exactly, right? Exactly. When you cross-contaminate, Citadel with like scale 75, we jump universes. We actually jump through the dimensions. And it's, we notice it as more of a Mandela effect. We see more and more of that. And so every time that occurs, it's a glitch in the matrix. We've crossed dimensions. Don't mix paint lines. Don't mix Citadels with Vallejos. For God's sakes, don't do it. Just don't do it, because, we cross over into another dimension every time that occurs. And you'll notice through a Mandela effect. You'll be like, why the hell did that happen? And you're like, I crossed the streams. And, we've crossed dimensions. Yep, that's what happens. For a fact. 100%. Not actual guarantee. I should have like a little prepared GIF for that at the bottom of the screen. Not actual guarantee. Dylan Bauer. Bauer? Is it just Bauer? Okay, many thanks. Very helpful. Yeah, if you've got like 500 minis, go with the simplest approach. Especially if you're looking to get them done. Your goal is just to get them done. You're not looking to win awards. You're not looking to impress your friends other than having 5,000 points of Deathwing. Because that's impressive. And having 5,000 points completely painted, based with, symbols and stuff like that on them. Golf club. Bravo. Very good. That should be, if that's your goal, great. If you're looking for the most efficient way to achieve that, fantastic. There are many ways to go about it. If you want to go Golden Demon style, competition type display standards on every model, it's going to take you a while. But if that's not your goal, go for more efficient. Definitely. 100%. And that's half the battle, man, for success, is having a plan, knowing your vision to your end result. If you can already see that end result and you know what you want and what you're going to be happy with, because that's the big part as well, is being happy with it. And if you're happy with that, what your results are going to be, bravo, you're already winning. You're already winning by that point. So, very good. Scale Model Muse. I love makeup brushes for painting. Foundation sponges are great too. It's super cheap at the dollar store. Yeah, I have a big collection from metal model days. And still a few companies out there who make metal models and still throw in the sponges. But I keep those sponges. Those essentially are the same thing as those makeup sponges. But I just tear off a chunk. Even the pluck foam from the care cases. Yeah, like the leftover pluck foam. I hang on to that. Use that. Worked great. Works fine. Raziel, I have this theory that when you experience a deja vu moment, it's because you have died in a previous playthrough and you're on a restart. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. That's a good one. I can totally see that. Yeah, that makes complete sense to me. And the weird way my brain works, because exactly. You feel like you've experienced it before because you did. Last time you fucking died, and so you're on a restart. How many lives do you have, though? Ah, that's the question. What was the infinite lives code again? Darker Mission. When I were a lad, we were painted. I started singing that like it was a song, because I'm thinking, because Dark Commission. I've met Dark Commission in the real world, and yes, when I was a lad, when we were a lad, we painted models with Afix and Humbrol gloss enamel paints with pointless plastic brushes from the corner shop. Nostalgia. Yep, same here. Testers. I use tester enamels on my miniatures. I wish I still had my Imperial Guard, because it was one of the old Rogue Trader Imperial Guards, and I was using enamel. I still used enamel, ruby red, from testers, because it gave really great blood effects on my models, because it had a slight thickness to it. It finished with gloss. It finished glossy. It had a slight transparency to it on clear stuff, and it was that right value for blood, like fresh blood. And yeah, I used to use that all the time. Yeah, ruby red from testers. Ghost Star Mandalux. Then people who experience deja vu more frequently are more prone to dying. Ooh, that's deep. We're getting deep. Getting deep. No fucks. The hat trick of painting is using lacquer, acrylic, enamel, alcohol paints on a model without accidentally trying to rinse a brush out in the wrong water solvent alcohol cup. Yeah, you kind of have to be like an octopus at that point, right? Because you got like a brush in each hand. You just look like Dr. Octopus, essentially, and you're just painting a model on them. You're using acrylic over here, and you're using water-based, and you're using enamels, and lacquer. You just got all sorts of paints going on. Yeah. That would be impressive, though. Scale Model Muse, Ruby Red is nice. Yes. Yeah. Testers? Yeah. Brandon Taylor, I have some of your old Rogue Trader Imperial Guard. Do you? Take pictures. Send them to me. Do they still have the old paint jobs on them? Do you still have the one on the bike, the jet bike? Because if you still have that one, that was one of the first times that I was actually more pleased with my paint job with that one. It's crap now, but yeah. Do you still have it? If you do, send me pictures of them. I have a buddy who I've just recently reconnected with, from like high school days. And he told me, he still had one of my original Predator drawings. Like Predator, the movie, not To Catch a Predator. Like, and yeah, I was like, dude, send me a pic. Yeah, I'm still waiting on him to send me a pic, but yeah. Anyway. No fucks given. If you experience deja vu too much, you probably have taken a bunch of hits to the dome. Probably. You know what? I get a lot of deja vu, actually. And the wife experiences this as well. When I'm really into the weed, and yeah, I feel deja vu a lot. It's like, didn't I already watch this? Were we already talking about this? Didn't I already do this? Yeah, I get that a lot. I get a lot of deja vu. So yeah, I have taken a lot of hits to the head. So anyway, B-Man, I only have some infantry still painted the same. Oh yeah, send me pics, dude. Send me pics. Because I'd like to show that. Because if you still have some of my old paint jobs, yeah. Please, man, please. No fucks given. It fucking sucks when you try to rinse your brush off with oil enamel in the water cup. Instant gum. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Always. Yeah, it's oil and water, man. It's oil and water. Oil and water. Alrighty. Let's quickly do... Holy shit, we got 15 minutes left of the show. Let's quickly do the Instagram side of stuff. Because I don't think I have too many on the Instagram. But yeah. I don't have a song for the Instagram. So, Instagram. There. Fuck, that sucked. That was pretty shitty. Ooh. Did I see this one? Oh yeah, it's hearted. Yeah. I actually painted the stands. Anyway, this one here in the middle. Yeah. Oh, and this one over here. Yeah. It's other people using the hashtag Way the Brush, and it's like paintings and stuff. It's like it has nothing to do with what our stuff that I'm known for, I guess. Yeah. Here's that video of paint. But anyway, this is from our good buddy Disco Duke, but it's Disco Mini Painter on Instagrams. Bit of a kit bash on the Spirit Torment. Give that a like. And yeah. What's the head from? Looks like a Dark Elder thing. I like it. I like the little chains and everything. I have no idea what parts are from what kits, so I can't say, ooh, great use of this, because I have no idea. So I'll just say, ooh, it's cool. I like your use of the little fabric too. Like, what is that fabric? What is that you use for the fabric? Is that like some sort of fiberglass? Is it like, what is it? I don't know if I'm sure you've probably answered this question already, but I need to know. Disco, please, 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 let me know. But I like it. It's very cool. Oh, here we go. Yeah, somebody in the Netherlands practicing their writing, the calligraphy. It's nice. I like it. I like the simplicity and the minimalism of this style. This is from our good buddy Arturo Petit. Quite early work in progress on my ancient D&D dragon made as a boss for my D&D campaign. The last two pictures are just for size comparison between the ancient one and the young blue dragon from Nolzar, and my 4-year-old girl that wanted to be on my Instagrams. All right. I can already see it's pretty goddamn big. Holy shit. Oh, sorry. Daughter might be watching this. Oops. I mean, holy fucking shit, Batman. Now she definitely can't see it. Wait a second. Hold the phone. Are you sculpting this? Arturo, is this you sculpting? Cause holy shitballs, if this is you sculpting, man, wow. Wow. I have to go into like an Owen Wilson there. Wow. Wow. For reals. I can't give it any more likes. I can only give it one thumbs up. But apparently Arturo is sculpting. I didn't know Arturo sculpted. Color me thoroughly impressed. Yeah, that thing's huge. And she's got her little phone. Good God, man. Don't get me started on little kids and phones. Anyway. Wow. Impressive, man. Impressive. I had no idea you sculpted, dude. I mean, you might have shared your previous efforts in the past, and I'm just forgetting, but yeah. Wow. Wow. It gets another Owen Wilson. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Damn. That was impressive. This is Snadley Workshop commissioned terrain for Saga Age of Hannibal. Let's give it a like. Oh, yeah, I think he shared this on... Yeah, Sharing is Caring. On the Way the Brush Facebook page, Sharing is Caring. I think he shared this already. But yeah, it's the Instagram offering. I like the paint job. I like all the texture. I really like this oasis with all the flowers and everything. Of course, he's got a Pokwalker in there. I don't know why you have a Pokwalker in there. But, yeah, I like this little oasis. I love how smooth got that resin. I assume he used resin for that. Getting that resin that smooth, like that mirror. Yeah, bravo. Bravo. And, yeah, I can only give this one like. Damn it. But yeah, I love all the texture. I love the color. The painting's really nice. The oasis is just fantastic. I want to visit this oasis right here. That just looks lovely. I'd love to sit on that broken column. I don't want to sit on the broken column, but I mean, like, and fish. I don't need I think you guys know where I'm going. Shaky Brush Minis. Let's give it a like. Testing a scheme for my Death Guard. Gotta say, I'm pretty pleased with it. Yeah, I like it. I like the weathering on the brass. It's an interesting choice of not too much weathering on the white portions, but it's a visual contrast. I see like a little bit up on the collar, but yeah, I don't see it like a weathering elsewhere. But mind you, I don't know if this is done. It looks kind of done to me, but I like it. I like the inclusion of the little bits of purple everywhere. Personally, I think the blade of his sword does not really need to be that bright an orange. In fact, I probably would have gone more for a bit more of a brown, or pushing towards that brown side of that rust. Just so it doesn't conflict. Because, see, the purple works really, really well here because of the slight green elements on that otherwise bright, contrasty white. The slight little green. Because, like, you predominantly get a lot of white and you see that yellowy green, right? Because the oxide on the brass or the gold, whatever it is, plays very nicely, and with those little bits of that saturated purple plays very nicely with that yellow, and it creates a really nice contrast. And so the axe or the sword blade, I don't think needs to push that warm with the rust. The rust could actually have been stays closer towards brown as opposed to pushing towards orange. I don't think that's necessary. It brings the eye forward, but I like on the backside here, see how like the bolter casing, how it has almost like this wood gradient or wood grain to it. I like that, and that plays very nicely. And in fact, if you had emulated that tone with the sword, I think it works a little bit better, personally. I mean, you could leave it as such, but yeah. And like the little spots of blue, I don't know if it's necessary to push towards that brighter blue. You run the risk of having too many colors at play, even though you predominantly are on a bold white surface. I like the bold white. Minimal weathering is fine. It's the overall color I'm looking at. And of course, your control with the color is really good as well. Color looks like it's where it's supposed to be, right? It's no color hitting into other areas, that kind of stuff, you know. So it's really good use of control as well. But yeah, that would be it for me. I don't think that sword needs to be pushed that bright, that saturated in orange red. I don't think that's necessary. I would leave it more towards what you created, like on the wood grain, but just use those same colors for the rust, right? Bit more neutral, because the predominant colors that I see at play on that white background is the slight yellowy green and that purple, and those two colors are, you know, really capturing and moving the eye around on that surface. But yeah, very nice, Shaky. Very nice. I can only give it one like. I'm sorry. I'd give it multiple likes if I could. If only I could. Disco! Did we already see that? No, we didn't, because I didn't give it a like. That's how I know. That's how I know I didn't see it. Love your work on the eagle. The eagle wings are fantastic. I like the color scheme. It's fun. I think for the gold elements, though, if you're going to push it more towards the yellow side of things, like the armor, made it more of a yellowy gold, I think would play a little bit better, especially with that purple. But I like it regardless. And it's Griff Oberwald. I'm a Griff Oberwald fan. Even though he's described as like an arrogant dick. But yeah. Really nice work on that eagle though. It's really good. Oh yeah. Eldari Lamborghinis or Bat Beatty. Golden Hour photo shoot. Oh, I already saw this. Well, I had seen pictures. I didn't know if I'd seen it on... Or wait, did we already do this? Maybe we did this last week? Or previous show? Yeah. Do more pictures of your miniatures in this. Like, do under, like, normal lighting circumstances, but also get some, you know, really dramatic lighting. Just because it looks really good. It just makes for good mini pics. And also less head space. Less headroom. Fill the frame more with the model. but I think we already talked about that, didn't we? We did, didn't we? I think we did. But anyway, if you guys don't feel like sending me an email, but you want to, you want my input on models, use the hashtag #WayTheBrush, and I'm sure I'll see it at some point, possibly. Where the hell am I in these comments? Ulrich Stormpoke. That's fun to say. They're going to need Dragonborn to slay that beauty. Yeah, that sculpt, that was impressive. Arturo, I don't know how often Arturo pops in and out. I don't know how often he catches this, but dude, that sculpt's amazing. Amazing. I had no idea that you sculpted. Or I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know. He might have. He every time Arturo has probably shared work, it's probably been sculpting projects, and every time it's like, Arturo, wow, this is a really great sculpture. But that impressive, the dragon, impressive, very impressive. Dark Commission. I like those palm trees and flowers. The rest is nice too. Yeah, the oasis is really pretty. I like the oasis. It's really nice. Scale model muse resin, nice. Witchcraft, I bet. Yeah, to get it really smooth like that, yeah, it's really good. Snidely 66 or 666 Envirotex light. Oh, okay, yeah, I've used Envirotex before, and I always got quite a bit of bubbles, but I assume you masterfully used it regardless, right? Pour on high gloss finish with a little bit of amylite translucent blue resin added in. Okay. Yeah, because I've used it for water effects before, the Envirotex. It's kind of pricey where I am. I don't know where you are, Snidely, but yeah. Yeah. Any clear resin tends to be kind of pricey. At least in my experience. Hard edge painting. The purple does wonders on the stark white, though. Yeah, lighting, yes. Hard to judge with lighting. Yeah, I mean, it just looks pretty. Pretty pick. Pretty pictures will always grab attention, right? I mean, if the picture is composed well and it's lit well, and you know what I mean, even a miniature with no paint on it will look cool if it's a good miniature, right? You can just light it a particular way and it'll look nice, you know? And realistically, that's how a lot of times we judge a lot of these miniatures, right? Is the sculpture. Look at the sculpture with no paint on it. We're always used to looking at miniatures with paint on it. But I mean, that's one person's interpretation of applying the color to the surface as far as what the subject matter is. But if we're going to really judge a sculpture and look at a sculpt, we should look at it with no paint on it, right? In recent years, they've shown that a lot of the the Greek sculptures and stuff like that, they were colored. There is paint on those sculptures. So at some point they were painted. It's just the paint, obviously it sits out in the sun bleaches it, and but yeah. What stands the test of time is that sculpture, right? The paint job will fade in time. Like beauty, it will fade with time. That's kind of grim, but anyway. It's time for an email because we have quite a few actually, and holy shit, we're already at 2:00. We're already at the 120-minute mark, so we got to hurry up and get through the emails. I've got actually quite a few. So, if you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down because here it comes. Flicking that bean. Gonna flick you in the bean. Email time. It's email time. I'm so stupid sometimes. I'm still laughing at my own stupid shit. But anyway. This is from our good buddy TH. Some Blood Bowl picks. Hi Kris. Here's my latest Blood Bowl team. The Black Orcs from last year's box set. As you know, I always paint my teams as NFL franchises, and this time's This times, it's the Dallas Cowboys. It's not the most obvious color scheme for orcs, but I'll think it plays on the core joke of Blood Bowl. Fantasy creatures in sport outfits, the crisp white, silver, and blue uniforms of the Cowboys underlie the antithesis of grisly greenskins and make it even more ridiculous. I also wanted to create a theme with the other team in the 2020 box set, the Imperial Nobility. I'm basing mine on the Saints. Test picks attached. I wanted to hit on a sorta yin-yang logic of the black and gold Saints versus white and silver Cowboys. They're done for tabletop, quick and clean. I thought about weathering, but I like keeping an overall feel bright and cool. Now, do you read? Do I read? Do they read as Cowboys? I guess, but it's more a creative interpretation than an actual recreation with very fantasy-esque models. You sometimes have to. I do the troll scales, or did the troll. Jeez, I can't read. I did the troll scales to match the blue of the team, to keep the color scheme a little tighter, but it made me think. It is somewhat incredible coincidence that it's a perfect match. A slightly different nuance would seem more plausible and make the model feel more realistic. Here, I sacrificed that realism for a tighter overall feel. What are your thoughts on this? When do you sacrifice realism for consistency, creativity, or overall concept? Interesting question. Let me know what you think, what I should work on. Mold lines, I know. And as always, thanks for all the great content. TH. My thoughts on, we'll address this first one here really quickly. My thoughts on when do you sacrifice realism for consistency, creativity, or overall concept? I think for me, I think creativity is first. Consistency, it depends on, obviously, if I'm, doing an army or if it's a one-off. So consistency, right? Realism is actually very on the bottom. The overall concept is probably right under creativity. Creativity, overall concept, being consistent across all these different models, especially if I'm doing like a unit, an army, what have you. And realism, I often don't even consider realism because, again, this is all made up stuff. So realism, it's like a pinch of realism, right? It's a pinch. If we're talking recipes here, it's a pinch of realism all the time. Space Marines, even historical models, pinch of realism. Doesn't need it. But yeah, very interesting question. That's a good one. So let's have a look at the pretty pics. Oh, let me change cameras. There we go. Oh, I like the painting. Even for a fast tabletop, this is really good. Lots of depth. Lots of contrast, like in the little Gobbo's hands. I love that little Gobbo who's got the shield up by his face and he's doing like the kung fu pose. He's kind of like Bruce Lee. He's gonna 1-inch punch you. Yeah, I like that. Does it immediately read as Cowboys? I'm gonna have to say no. I think if the silver armor was a little brighter, the armor is the metal of the armor is a little dark for me. Reading as Cowboy. I get it, and I think it also needs, the symbols, bigger, bolder symbols on it. That one orc on the far right, he feels very blue almost in his skin, which kind of like, it feels a little light for the pants. I don't know if I'd have went with the light blue pants actually for the Cowboys. I'd probably went with white, especially if I was going with that darkened armor. I'd have probably went with white pants with like a blue stripe down the leg. But immediately, no, I don't. But knowing throughout your consistency of how you color your teams, yes, I would eventually have arrived at Cowboys. Because if you had thrown like a splash of orange in there, it would read as dolphins almost. I know, crazy, but yeah. But also could be because I don't really like Cowboys anyway, but... I mean, Romo's awesome, but only as a commentator. Back when he was playing, he was shite. He was a really good quarterback, but no. I prefer Romo as a commentator nowadays. But anyway. Yeah, I think the armor, if the armor was a little lighter, brighter silver, I think it would have read a little bit better. And personally, I would have made the pants white with that light blue stripe down the side. Little gobbos. I like gobbos. Gobbos is fun. And fun is fun. I like the troll. Really good stuff. Me likey. See, I like the color scheme. Is this the last one? This is the last one. So he's going with Saints for this last one. I like the color scheme. This immediately, though, it looks more like, I realize it's actual gold you're using, but it in the picture here, it reads to me more like Pittsburgh. Just it's the balance of black and yellow. How like there's so much yellow on the Steelers outfit. This feels more like Steelers. Even though I can see that there's metallic paint on there, of which the Saints use, but I think there should be more black. Like on their chest armor, the trim should be gold, but the center plate should be black. You know what I mean? Like it should be black knee pad with the gold trim. The shoes should be black, definitely. Or should they be white? Do they often play with white on their shoes? I can't remember. But anyway, you know what I mean? I think like it's more gold accent and more black. Because if you were to go with their away uniform with more white, it'd still be accent gold, right? The helmet feels more appropriate for a Saint because the Saints predominantly have more gold on their helmet. But I think their uniforms are predominantly black, aren't they? But yeah, I mean, I like it, but I mean, like from a like first impression type of standpoint, this feels more like Pittsburgh. But like when I look more and more at Buddy on the right, the far right, he looks more like a Saints, and the guy with the feathers on top of his head feels more Saints because there's more black present with the gold. But I think the gold should be more accent, and the uniform should be predominantly black. Because otherwise, it visually, like in the pictures here, it reads more like Steelers. Just because you see so much black and yellow, and it feels like they're in equal measure. And on Steelers, it feels like black and yellow is, or black. Well, it's black and gold, but black and yellow is in equal measure on Steelers, as opposed to Saints. Saints, the gold is actually fairly minimal, really. I mean, a big gold helmet, but yeah. The white definitely helps as well, like on the wings. But I like it. I mean, like it looks good. I wouldn't change the color scheme. If you want to go run with this, I would, because I mean, like it doesn't have. Yeah, you. Here I am being nitpicky about the use of color, and in fact, he asked the question: when do you sacrifice? Consistency over, creative aesthetics and, all of that, right? So here I am going back and forth as far as how it all looks, how it plays out, and, being accurate to the inspiration as opposed to going with creative license, right? And yeah, I wouldn't change a thing on the Saints. Keep running with that, because I'm sure in person that gold reads better than on camera, because on camera I see mostly that yellow and black coming at me. To me, that reads more Pittsburgh than Saints. But in person, I'm sure that gold plays very nicely with the ambient room light. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I'd keep it as such. As long as they got the big gold helmets with a bit of black, it's the Saints. With a white emblem, it's the Saints. Alrighty, next email. Sorry, I'm drinking my cold coffee here. It's cold. It's ice cold too. It's okay though. It's just black. Like my soul. This is from our good buddy Kevin Cabal. It's Bone Devil versus the Ultramarine. Hello, Kris and fellow monkeys. Here is a little project that I slapped together for fun. It's the WizKids Dungeons and Dragons Bone Devil and an unfortunate Ultramarine. I painted the Bone Devil first and then thought there was a lot of empty space on the base I built for him, so I added a playmate for him. Anyways, looking for constructive criticism. Let me know what you think. Cheers, Kevin Cabal. I thought we looked at this already. Didn't we look at this already? Wasn't it Instagram? Wasn't it? Something like that? But anyway, okay. So in depth. Here we go. I like it. I like the Bone Demon. I like the coloring. I like the overall treatment of the bone areas. I like how it tapers off to a darker color on the ends of the wings. I like the little fleshy bits. They have that. They look like they're actually glistening with the red, and the bone actually looks like it's got a bit more of a matte appearance. I like that visual contrast. I think the base could also employ that as well, having more of a matte finish on the base so that it contrasts nicely with the marine armor, having a slight sheen to it, and the glossiness of the bone. Having the OSL glow in the eyes, I think you could probably push a little bit more saturation in the blue in the core of the eye, while still having that bright hot spot, because creating that OSL glow, especially on bone, is a bit of a challenge because bone typically gets colored in light colors. Yeah, especially here. See, like, with the OSL of the eye, it should draw the viewer in. And from this angle, it's not. The blue is almost the same value as the bone. Here's something you can try. I don't know if we can do it on camera here. No, I don't want to try it because then I'll probably end up fucking something up. But try making this image black and white. Right? Put a black and white filter on this, or grayscale, whatever you want. And just look at the values, the contrast values, and you'll see that the eyes disappear. I'm willing to bet you'll see that the eyes disappear and they do not become as prominent as, say, for example, how you have that visual contrast with the cloth and the red, right? And even the shadows in the bone. And so you want to bring that visual contrast to the eye to bring prominence to it so that the viewer sees that and goes, oh, look at the eyes are glowing, right? As opposed to having this blue haze to it. It's really around the eye itself. The actual sculpted detail, you want to bring a little bit more saturation in there. Deeper blue, or even a black, not black, but a deeper blue to bring a bit more contrast in there so that we as the viewer interpret it as a glowing element. So that way, that light blue that's around the eye socket, like around the eyebrow and on the cheekbones, reads more as an ambient glow as opposed to, this overall kind of blue in the area, if you catch my meaning. The Space Marine, I like the Space Marine. Space Marine's nice. I mean, it's a Space Marine. He's got a big cavity in his chest. It also looks like his face is melted off and what have yous. Overall, I mean, I like it. I think a little bit more work in the future. If you were going to do something like this for, competition and what have you, I think a bit more time could be spent in posing the corpse, making him feel a bit more like he, is leaned into this little pit that he's in, or this little divot, whatever this is, and feels more like, oh my God, he's dying. He died here, right? He looks more like he toppled over, like he's stiff. And he's just toppled over. And, I think you want to have a bit more of that relaxed kind of, he's fallen over and he's died here. And, you know what I mean? It just gives a little bit, yeah. See, it feels like here, head on, it feels, it works. But when you look at him from the sides and stuff, it feels very stiff he should be posed a bit more towards the, crouched and fallen over kind of thing. But, slapping it together really quickly, yeah. But really, that's about it. That's about all the CNC I have. I like it. I think it's a good piece, and yeah, it works. It's really just like if I was looking at it like like I was judging it or something like that. But otherwise, I think it works fine. Any comments? Nothing? Any pressing? No, it's fine. Next email is from our good buddy Sergeant Shamrock. More on the things being put with the color on. Well, fuck, I couldn't even read that. It's the title of his email. More of the things being put with the color on. Fuck it. Wow, that's a hard one to read. Anyway, on to the email. Hi, almighty smiter. It's me again. I should just read this in a really kind of... I was going to say a bit more of a flamboyancy, but anyway. It's me, with more painting from your continuously helpful criticism. Fuck, okay. I fucked that all up. I've finished the Dragon Waterbender. The purple was in fact added purposely to try and shade the red down. It was very much a work in progress at the last email and has been completed now. The gobbo I left as he was because I was darn sick of grinning, of that grinning son of a gun. I used Screamer Pink mixed with the darker color, which I can't remember right now as I'm in work, and said, holy camole, it's almost time to send an email. So he's done. I've attached the picture of him with the base complete. I'm also working on some Titanicus terrain, a failed print of Batman on a gargoyle, which I'm painting to look like a statue under construction, and finally working on some Teenage Mutant Ninja Cows. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Cows are currently work in progress because I wasn't feeling the green blends, so I dumped them to work, and went to work, and I'll tackle them again Monday. God damn, this is hard to read. Hope you have a good Saturday. Long live the Muffin Tops. Sergeant Shamrock. Also, my name is the name I came up with for my commission service, Sergeant Shamrock's Commission Painting Service. I wasn't actually in the military. Anyway, have a good one, you monkey representatives. Jeez Louise. God damn, that was hard to read. Fucked all that up, too, by the way. But anyway, here is... what am I looking at? Oh, it's a Batman on a rock? Is that what this is? But he's painted up like a statue? Very, very interesting. If that's what I'm looking at. What am I looking at? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Yeah, I think this is a Batman on a gargoyle, right? That's what this is? And he painted up like a statue. Very interesting. Ooh, look at these guys. These are the Moo Dudes? The Moo Dudes. I like the green. I like the gold. Yeah. It's very work in progress. I think it all works. I like it. It's contrasty. It's like I like the tone to the shadows. I like that level of brightness in the gold. Yeah. It all works for me. I mean, it's work in progress, so I mean, like, I'm not going to render any kind of, judgment. I like this dragon dude with the flames. Yeah, very cool. I think the flames, moving forward though, I would push the contrast, go a little bit brighter in towards the cores of the fingers of flame, if you catch my meaning there, in towards the central core of the flame, not build darker out towards the ends, the points of the flames, is my point. Right, the gobbo. I like this gobbo. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun model. I think, especially with like a lot of fun parts, like or pieces like this, do not be in a rush. But yeah, any criticism? Nothing really. I mean, the Batman statue, it's all work in progress, right? So, I mean, like the statue, I couldn't tell from that first initial picture that was the Batman, but yeah, but I mean, it's a failed print. But I mean, yeah, I guess really what scale are you building this towards as far as like looking like a statue? I think the Moo Dudes, I think the green works very, very well. The gold does not look like a lot of treatment's been done to it yet. So, again, it's all work in progress, right? So, but it looks like you're heading off in the right direction. So keep going. The dragon dude with the flames around him, the flame bender, is that what he's called? Is that what he's actually called? The flame bender? I don't even know what he's called. I don't even know where the hell the picture is, or what he is called. Anyway, it all looks really good to me. Yeah, the Gobbo was great. I think we looked at that last week, and the flame dude, yeah. When you get to the flames, I think that value of blue you have initially looks good, but be sure to build the brightness towards the base of each of the flames. And I wouldn't get too hung up on, like the realism aspect of like each of the flames. You can take some artistic liberty as far as like where that core part of that flame is. It an imagined central, kind of vine of flame, or is it like elements of the flame but hot spots throughout? And I think visually that will be more interesting if you have occasional kind of random feeling kind of central cores of where it's kind of building really hotness, right? Does that make sense? I don't even know if that made sense. But yeah, I like it. But I think that level of blue that you have so far, I think it works. I just would build brightness into that central column of flame bending around them. Yeah. And the eyes got to go brighter. The core of the eyes, the overall ambience, for the most part, works. But yeah, again with the OSL, I would not go too hilarious with it, because anywhere if it gets really, really intense and like it's kind of spreading out and it's kind of taking over the model, you got to be careful of that, because it'll kind of wash out some of what you've done. And when you really start playing around with the light sourcing, well, some areas of the model would be a harsh shadow, like for example underneath the leg where the flame is kind of traveling by. You have to build intensity there, that what I mean, like, because that would be illuminated, right? It would not be shadowed. Like folds in the cloth where the flame is passing by, you have shadow running by there. Shadow wouldn't be there. That would be bright because the flame is emanating brightness. How do we know the flame is emanating brightness? Is because you've indicated that on the model where the glow is sourcing out from those points, right? So, yeah. Again, it's all about how you position those lights and, yeah. Because painting is really just how we perceive light on objects, right? And so all you have to do is emulate how light would interact on those surface to the viewer. But that's painting. That's painting in canvases, miniatures, whatever, right? So, yeah. And also nice work from what I could see on the epic terrain. Next model, or next email, I should say, is from our good buddy Derek Luderis. Hey Kris, I recently completed some new Salamander minis. I wanted shiny polished look, as I usually use matte finish. The gloss is much harder to take good pictures of. Yes, it is. Do have advice on lightbox setup. I tried setting up white paper in my paint booth, but that was best I could do. Every day is a good day when you paint. Bob Ross. So you're having a bit of a challenge photographing the models as they have a bit of a shine to them. Now, when you are doing your own kind of lighting setup, I don't know what sort of lights you're using. But you definitely, especially with shiny objects, you definitely want a something to diffuse the light so that it's not such a harsh light. Now, it looks like the light off to the right, it does look like it's soft, but it doesn't look like it's the same light as the light up in the upper left. It looks like two different light sourcings and two different temperatures of light. So the white balance is off because you have two different temperatures of light. Like the light on the right hand side of the photograph feels like it is a warmer light, and the light above looks almost like it's a fluorescent white light or something along those, like an LED white light, excuse me. So you want to have the same lights. Now you can use this two different colors of, or two temperatures of light to your advantage in your photographs, and you can play within that to create established mood. But if you're looking for just kind of showcasing or showcasing the paint job, you want to have consistent light. Now again, I'm not too sure on what your painting setup is, but that most likely is why you're having a bit of difficulty with the white of the background, is because you got two different lights at play, and the camera is trying to balance towards the two, and you have to find a consistency in your light. Also, when taking pictures, and especially if you're doing like multiple models like this, where you have varying depth, you have to open your f-stop up. You have to go higher in your f-stops so that you have greater depth of field. Now, depending on what camera setup you're using, you'll have to add more light. You need more light if you're going to open that aperture up more, or I guess narrow the aperture, but go higher on your f-stops. You could also change your ISO, but the higher ISO you go, typically you introduce noise, but because of how bright this is, you could go, say, as far as like ISO 800 and be fine. Again, I mean, like doing miniature photography, there's a lot of things to go over, but I don't know, was that the purpose of the email, or were you just showing off what you're working on? I don't remember now. But yeah, I like the shininess, and I think you can play with that element as well. So you can have shiny elements and, say, some matte elements or some satin elements. I like that visual contrast as well, especially when viewing these models in person. It looks fabulous when you have that shiny surface, like like a canopy is shiny, but then the matte of the body, but then there's like satin elements here and there. You know what I mean? Like it's just a nice visual thing. It just it makes it all very tactile and feels really cool. But yeah, if your question, Derek, was more geared towards the picture side of things, but yeah, the glossiness of the models though, yeah, you want a diffuser on your lights so that's not such a harsh light playing on the model surface. Now the glossiness and reflectivity of it, unavoidable. But you can use that to your advantage. You just have to position the lights in such a way that it doesn't play that big a part on what you photograph, right? So sometimes, usually it's a flash. Usually a flash can take care of that. But I don't know what kind of equipment you're dealing with when you are doing this. So, but if you need further help, feel free to message me. If you have specific questions as far as what you're working with specifically, right? Because you can take good photographs, with whatever tools you have on hand. Again, it's about mastering your tools, right? So feel free to hit me up. Just, you got to be specific about what kind of things you're dealing with here. But anyway, I don't even know. Derek, are you here today? Oh, you are here today. Derek says, using a cell phone, probably should get a real camera. No, you can still use a cell phone, because some cell phones, depending on what cell phone, again, I mean, you say cell phone, but that's a whole spectrum of things as well. I mean, it's not just one thing, right? Because first of all, first distinction is Android or Apple, right? What kind? What age? How old is it? How big is the camera? You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of questions that have to be, addressed first, right? So we can narrow down how to get your best results, right? I need the specifics. Again, like whenever people ask me about these kind of things, I always need the specifics to give you a good answer. I need specifics. So, yeah, you can still do it with a cell phone and get good results. You can do it with just regular old fucking desk lamps and a cell phone and get great results. But it's all about doing it right, placement, and you know what I mean? And there's apps for the camera on phones, depending on how old your camera is on your phone, like how old your phone is, that allows you to control the shutter speed, the ISO, and well, I think probably on your cell phones it's typically known as gain, because in video it's known as gain because most phones can take video, right? So they often have a gain feature, but gain is similar to ISO. In video camcorders and video cameras and point and shoot cameras, ISO and gain are, the same ballpark. It's the same sport, just different names, different divisions. Dark emission. Avoid camera flash on glossy subjects. Well, you can offset your camera flash. And so it's just the reflected light. And yeah. But yeah, typically to get rid of glossiness, yeah. It's your shutter and the timing on the flash. It's the timing. Finlay Robinson. Hey, Kris, painted any Blood Bowl lately? No. Have I painted any Blood Bowl? Necromunda? Creature Caster? Relic Blade? Age of Sigmar? No. For the last month, I've been working on the fucking War Master Titan because I've been filming it. But like I said, I'm probably going to speed through some process. I'm probably going to skim through some steps just because I'm repeating myself in this project. And I've also bounced back to painting the what is he called? Blade Guard Veteran. Blade Guard? Yeah, Blade Guard Veteran, Space Marine. We've gone back because I freehanded his shoulder pad, and I had demonstrated applying transfers and going a little further with the transfers. Basically painting on the transfers. So anybody who's curious about that, patrons get early access to those right now. And I think I'll probably bring that model to a finish. So I may do some weathering, but I'm probably going to do the base. But yeah, I was thinking of doing something fun for the base, but then I was like, I might just do something straightforward. I don't know. Again, it's all up in the air. He's not attached to the base, so I can pretty much do whatever I want, really. But yeah, anyway. Finlay Robinson. I hate when people say you need a proper camera and a light box, etc. I'm a professional painter and I can't afford that shit. Well, I mean, affords, who can afford what aside? Yeah, I mean, you can still take good pictures even with crap equipment. Again, you can paint miniatures with crap paints, but if you master it, the results will speak for themselves. And same with taking good pictures. Again, it's not about the tools, right? It's like people ask about taking pictures. Well, what's the best camera? Most photographers will tell you the best camera is the one that you have with you. It's not a joke. It's not a dad joke. That's actual. That there's truth behind that statement, and it's just like paints. What's the best paints? It's the one you have. It's the one you have access to. It's, you know what I mean? It's the ones you got. It's work with the materials you have. That's how you master something. Right? Constantly changing cameras and things like that. Now, taking pictures and knowing how to work with your tools, well, that requires a degree of experience and mastery. Because, I mean, photographers, yeah, they'll switch bodies all the time, but they'll keep the lenses for years. And that's why the lenses are so damn expensive. It's because they're so integral to taking pictures, right? Anyway. Finlay Robinson, proper Titan or a little Adeptus Titanicus? I've been painting the War Master. I was given early access to the War Master, and I'm still way behind on it. Other shit, man. I mean, I don't paint miniatures for fun. I don't. It's a job. But yeah, it's the War Master Titan I've been working on. Anyway, we still have holy corrales. It's 36 minutes OT. Got another email. This one's from our good buddy Legion Miniatures. Ghouls. Hi, Kris and monkeys. I needed to clean the palette from all the white armor Dark Eldar, so I painted some undead this week. The Ghoul King is already done and he's looking fancy with his mates. Best regards from Germany. Legion. I'll say, or no, it's Leg Ion. What's a Leg Ion? Leg Ion Miniatures. It's kind of an asshole thing to do, right? It's not Leg Ion, you fucking moron. It's Legion. Learn English, you dumb bastard. Anyway, it's a ghoul. I like the sculpt. This is a really fun miniature, and there's so many great painters who have painted this miniature to great effect, and you know, I like seeing them all. I don't even play this army. I have no idea if this miniature. I just like this miniature. It's just a good pose. It's such a great has such a great theme behind it. Like, you get all the vibes just from this miniature. You don't even have to know anything about what this miniature is about to know what he does. Like, you see his bat wings, you see he's clutched onto this little bit of wall, this gothic architecture that inspires, you know, Dracula vibes. You see he's got the big vampire teeth. He's also got those bat elements. You know he's not a good guy. This is not the hero of a story. This is a villain, right? This is a monster, some sort of creature of the night. It's just a fantastic sculpt. And I mean, the work on the flesh is really, really good. I love that color blend on the wings and the membranes of the wing. Yeah, it's really good. Is the character, like, is the model like a character piece? Like, he's in the center of this whole thing, and I'm just wondering, like, is the model like a character? Anyway, I have no idea, like, with these guys. I have no idea. I'm completely ignorant of this stuff. So, you know, let me know. The rest of the ghouls look cool. Is there more pictures? Oh, come on, Legion, there's no more pictures? God damn it, man. Tease me like that? I wanted to see some pictures, the close-ups of these ghouls. And, like, the big buddy in the back there on the upper left. In the middle pile of the left guys with the things, spiked head things on his back. I want some... Damn it, Legion, I want some close-ups, buddy. You have to send me another email, because I want to see some close-ups of this stuff. I like this, the bloody hands. And, like, it looks ghoulish. And I like that they're, like, this light flesh tone. Without going, you know, into like the dark blues and the greens we often see when we're doing ghouls, I like you just kept them just like that, really kind of light flesh tone, almost jaundice with that slight yellow cast in the skin. I like that. Yeah, it's almost like jaundice, but like they have these bloody hands, like it's just their hands are caked with blood. Yeah, dude, I want close-ups now. I want close. I'm whining now. You're making me whine. I want close-ups. Come on, man. You're teasing me, man. You're teasing me with these models. Like, I want some close-ups. I want to see some of the nitty-gritty details here that, you know, you took your time to, you know, go through. Oh, Legion, you are here. I put some more pictures in the Discord tomorrow. Okay. Teasing me. I gotta wait till tomorrow? Jeez, please. Dark Commission, nice pastel color scheme. Yeah, I like the light color scheme. It plays nicely with that really sharp red elements. You know, it gives them that. You know, they're monsters, right? And they're ghouls, and you know, it's fun and scary, and you know what I mean. And there's nothing wrong with painting them to look, you know, pretty scary, right? So, you know, yeah. But anyway. Legion, I put more pictures in Discord tomorrow. Dark Commission, there is enough red in them to make them pop. Yeah, definitely. Derek Uders, I love the new Age of Sigmar undead stuff. Yeah, they're really cool. Really cool. Very, very cool. This is an emails from our good buddy, Brandon Taylor, although a.k.a. the B-Man. He's the B-Man. There's the Gim. There's the B-Man. Tyler, whenever he's around, he's the Teabag. Well, he's just Teabag. But anyway. He hates when we call him Teabag, but He's Teabag. Don't ask how he got the name Teabag. Getting close to having my team finish. Need to add some highlights to the rest and they'll be ready to hit the pitch. I think the cloth highlights are a bit too subtle on my ogre. So he sent the picture of his ogre. And the cloth highlights, he says, are too subtle. Too subtle? I would say they're fairly consistent with their blue. I think that it would feel more out of place. I don't know, like, see, like, maybe in person, I guess you're seeing a little bit more here. But, I mean, like, I'm looking at, like, some of the areas, like, on his hands, his knee pad, like, around his neck. I like that highlighting. It's noticeable. I guess maybe that's what you mean. Like, it's a little too subtle in that regards. Like, it's not as obvious that there's a highlight there. Because, like, I see, like, the collar with the white of his undershirt there in his uniform. You can see, there is a highlight there. It is subtle. Too subtle though. I don't know. I think what makes it feel a little like what loses some of that obviousness of the highlight is the fact that you have these little blood splatters around these areas. I think that's what it is. I would have made his punchy fist blue as well, like the armor plate, like on the back of his hand. I'd have made that blue because you have the armor on his other hand and it's blue. I'd have made the armor of his punchy fist blue, but that's just me. But no, I don't feel like it's underdeveloped. I mean, you could have pushed it a little bit further, but I don't think it's necessary. And I mean, since you've already laid the blood down, I mean, it's done. It's a done deal now. I think with his bottom lip, you could take like a very thinned out magenta hue, or if you have any of the Citadel contrast, like Vulpus pink, thin that down a little bit and apply it to the lip, his bottom lip, just to bring a little bit more warmth into it. I mean, same could be said, I guess, for his nose and around his eyes. Just bring a bit of intensity, or on his cheeks. Make his cheeks feel a little bit more flush. But I mean, that's not necessary. It's not like it's going to make or break this model. I mean, to the question in the email, the white of his arm or of his uniform, it feels fine. It does not feel under highlighted. It's not like the blue is like rendered in a really dark blue and brought up to a really bright blue on the edges. You know what I mean? Like really contrasty. That would feel like the white would be under highlighted then. But because the highlights are not going that far on the blue, the white of his uniform does not feel out of place. No, it does not feel out of place. And also, I mean, like the little splattering of blood breaks that surface up, so you don't really see the color transitions because the little speckling, the eye ventures over that. I like it though. I got to get my ogres done. I got 2 now, I think. Because one came with the 2nd edition Blood Bowl, and I had one for my Steeler team. But thanks, B-Man, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. And yeah, I don't think that the white was like, I could see the highlights, and like some of the areas of the blue did look like they needed to highlight, but I mean, I could see the highlights elsewhere. Like you went with, they look like more like Lothern blue, or what is it, Aldorf or whatever blue, and then gave it like Teclis blue edge highlight, and yeah, the white areas, I mean, you could have pushed it to a pure white. That might have been too contrasty. So, and if you're worried that it's too that there's not enough white there, you could always push the shadows a little bit more. But I don't think it's necessary. I think it's fine, especially if this is a gaming piece. I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, I don't think you have to change it at all. Last email. Time went. Holy carmolies. We got 14 minutes. Or no, actually, we're 46 minutes OT. Last email. This one is from our good buddy Dark Commission, aka John. Hi, Mighty One. Here is my latest bust. It is a Roman Centurion 180 AD by Young Miniatures. I like this one a lot, but as always, your CNC are most welcome. Cheers, John, aka Dark Commission. Right off the hop, I will say I like this. The fur is fantastic. The slight blue reflective cast, like in the breastplate, excellent. I like that. Now it looks like this is a actual metallic paint, and so I kind of want to know: did you use a blue metallic in the reflected light sourcing, like in the reflections, or is that a blue glaze on top of the metallic? Either way, it's really good stuff. I guess really, I mean, what would blow my mind is if you did not use a metallic paint and this was just light sourcing, in which case I would, have to golf clap. I mean, it's still going to golf clap anyway. The flesh looks good. The red's nice and vibrant. I think on his head plume, I think you probably could have went with a little bit more highlighting just at the very corner, like that 90-degree angle on the head plume. But, because I mean, like I can see it like on the cloth. I can see you push towards that really bright highlight. And I kind of would like to have seen it in the head plume. I don't know what that head plume's called. I keep calling it a head plume, but it's probably not the real fucking name. But anyway. Yeah, I don't think you need to push that shadow that dark on the outer edges, whereas opposed to where it gathers closest to the where the metal binder for it. I don't know what the fuck it's called. I don't know what the anatomy of a helmet is. I don't know. Is it Star Wars? Yeah, the work on the fur though is really good, really really good. I mean, the work on the entire miniature is really good. It's a really good bust. Yeah. The flesh is really good. His eyes, yeah. Like this angle here, if I just looked right in at the face, can I zoom in on this? Yeah, here we go. Look at this. Yeah, see? This, if you looked at that really fast, you would swear that was a dude. Now it's obvious that it's not. But yeah, right around there, you'd be like, is that a real dude? That looks like a dude's face. Like it is a dude's face, but I mean, like it's. Yeah, it's really good work. Yeah, I think that's it. Just a little bit of the highlighting on the head plume. I had to push that shadow just a little closer to the part that binds all those hairs together. I think I think what the most brilliant part for me is that reflected blue in the armor. It's just really, really good. This head-on shot is really good of this. What's up, bud?
Did you get a phone call or an email today?
I did get a phone call, but I didn't answer it.
Did you make sure? Because it might have been them.
It said St. Catherine's. Yeah.
Oh, St. Catherine's.
Yeah, it said St. Catherine's something or other, I think. I can't fucking see it. I'm still streaming. Why?
Oh, it might have been the health department for the...
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the number and an extension you have to call, pretty soon.
I gotta take care of this shit now.
Huh?
I gotta take care of shit. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's basically what.
Okay, well, I'll take care of it in a moment. Thank you, my boy. Yeah, I don't fucking go anywhere. Nothing's open. I mean, I don't know why we're in a rush to get fucking vaccinated. Nothing's open. Anyway, where the hell am I? So yeah, really, really good. Oh, you know what? I should check the comments here. Dark Commission. It's Oily Steel by Vallejo. Yeah, saying the name doesn't help me too much, but like, is it a metallic paint? Is it a transparency? Like, what is it? I just want to know. I don't need to know the name. I just want to know if it's a colored metallic or if it was transparency, or if it's an opaque color and you just glaze that color on. I don't know. That's all I was curious about. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm losing my train of thought here. I've got fucking other shit to take care of right now. It's just a light. It's a full metal. It's a full metal, and it's just the ambient reflection in the room. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, damn! I thought you painted that reflected light sourcing on the metal. Are you serious? That's just that's not you painting that? Because like it looked, because as it rotates around. So is your countertop like a blue-green? Is that what it is? God damn. Finlay Robinson. My brother swears by that metallic paint. What? Vallejo? Sure. Vallejo's good. I got nothing against Vallejo. I like Vallejo. I've got like game color. I've got model color. Although I keep talking about it all the time, but I still have got to pick up the liquid metals. But yeah. Dark Commission. Best silver metal I've ever used. Okay. What? The Oily Steel by Vallejo? Is it the alcohol-based one? Is that what it is? Is it that from that liquid series, that liquid metal series? It's alcohol-based metal. But anyway. Finlay Robinson. Isn't a slightly bluish metallic? Is it a slightly blue? See, again, I mean, I have no idea. I've never used the color, so But either way, it looks fantastic. I thought you had put that reflected coloring in the armor, but apparently I'm wrong. That's just the ambient reflection. That's just like the tabletop reflecting up on the model. Okay, I thought you painted that. That's why I was impressed. If it's just the ambient reflection of that actual metallic paint, very cool. Bravo. But yeah. Oily Steel in particular. Yeah? Okay. Is it does it have like does this paint have a smell, or is it a water-based acrylic? Because if it has a smell, then it's a solvent-based paint, but yeah. Very, very cool. Thank you, John, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. Sorry, I think my boy just discombobulated me. That's what's going on. And the fact that people are trying to get a hold of me on a fucking Saturday afternoon when they should have just fucking called me during the work week. But whatever. Yeah, I'm getting angry now. I'm angry. I'm fucking angry. Dark Commission. Thanks for the CNC, Kris, and thanks for the comments from the chat. It's acrylic. Oh, it is acrylic? Okay. Or like it's acrylic paint, or it's a water-based acrylic paint? Because telling me it's acrylic isn't giving me the whole thing. It's an acrylic paint, meaning that it's an acrylic paint like Tamiya, like it's got alcohol in it, or it's a water-based acrylic paint. There is the distinction. Finlay, it's part of the model color acrylic range. Right, but model color is there's alcohol-based ones and there's water-based acrylics in the model color range from Vallejo. Again, there are distinctions there. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm getting hungry, and I think my patience is starting to wear thin. Oh shit! Dark Commission. I think the color in it sums up oily title. I don't know what that means. It's ordinary water-based. Okay, so it's water-based acrylic paint. Okay. So it's just like the regular model air and, stuff like that. Okay. I thought it was part of their acrylic ones, or the regular solvent-based acrylic paints, the alcohol-based. Because there's a bunch of those, and they're called like liquid metal or whatever the fuck they're called. But yeah, and there's a bunch of the newer ones. Yeah, I think they are water-based. Or, yeah, they're water-based acrylic. I thought they were alcohol-based because I've wanted the alcohol-based for a while. I've played with them a few times. I really, really like them. They give really great finish, which, like, water-based acrylic metallic paints, yeah, they vary quite a bit in success. But alcohol-based and solvent-based metallics outperform, in my opinion, water-based acrylic metallics all the time, every time. You just get a finer metallic pigment in them as opposed to water-based. Water-based, it just seems like it's always these big microflakes in the shit. And yeah, as opposed to the solvent-based, they can get a really fine one, right? That's why like Molotov's liquid chrome, right? Or liquid metal? Is it liquid metal or liquid chrome? What the fuck is it called? Liquid chrome. Yeah, this stuff. This stuff is hands down the best chrome paint. It's solvent-based. It's alcohol-based. Alcohol? Pretty sure it's alcohol. But it takes fucking forever for it to fully cure. For 100% to be fully dry, you got to give it like 24 hours. Which, as a miniature painter, when you're going through steps and stuff like that, pain in the ass. Which is often why I recommend Spastic's Mirror Chrome. But again, these are both solvent-based paints, which give you far more, like seeing at the top of the bottle here, you see how like reflective, let me see here if I make sure get this in the frame. See how reflective that is? So you can see like my light over here. You can even see like my finger in the reflection. See my finger moving in the reflection? That's just the residual paint that's gathered in the top of the bottle. The actual paint's down here, right? You can see it swirling around. Yeah, but you get that mirror finish. Like it's a mirror. Like you're not likely to get that with water-based acrylic paints. For whatever reason. I think really realistically it's because of health reasons, right? But yeah. Finlay Robinson. The liquid metal range from Vallejo is alcohol-based, model color, and game color, and metal color are all water-based. Yeah. Again, it's part of even my own biases. I find that alcohol solvent-based paints for metallics, in my opinion, outperform all water-based paints. Any water-based paint that's metallics, I'm highly dubious when they compare it to alcohol solvent-based, enamel, whatever. Pick your flavor of whatever solvent-based paint we're talking about. Typically, those outperform like Humbrol, All-Clad, Spastics, those metallics, even the color shifting ones and stuff like that, outperform water-based acrylics. Just because the pigment is so small. For whatever reason, it's just not done in the water-based acrylics. And it always looks, that's why, when people criticizing metallics paints, because they're so, it looks like, glitter, right? For scrapbooking. Well, play with the alcohol-based and the solvent-based, and you'll see it's a world of difference. You get like something that actually looks like it's metal plated, right? Polished metal plating, But whatever. Anywho, we're done with the emails. We're done with the show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm going to just end this right here because I've got shit to fucking take care of. So apparently getting my vaccination, apparently just because this whole, this whole pandemic thing, but anyway, send your questions, emails, whatever it is. It can be on anything. If you're going to send them to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. It's in the description below. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments as in the email. Don't send it off as links to other sites because it just won't do it. It's annoying. Oftentimes because it's ads and stuff like that. Whatever, right? So send them as attachments in the email. And of course, in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness, has links to all social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there 24/7. So feel free. Join us there and ask questions if you need or just share what you're working on, or you just want to hang out and, you know, talk to other like-minded individuals. You know, I don't know if like-minded is the right word, because some of these fools are pretty kind of whack. In the Discord, oh yeah, some of these characters, they're whack. Like, whack. Like, you'll find a link for t-shirts. Get t-shirt. Just get one now, or don't. I don't care. But get one. I'm just gonna do the ending, like the speedy ending. T-shirts. Get one. Send a picture of yourself. Shirt. Now. Do it. Patron. Go. Now. Be a patron. Best choice of your life. Best decision you'll ever make in your entire life. Being a patron. Do it. Now. Go. If you can't be a patron, thumb up the video. Like and follow. Subscribe. Algorithm. Do it. Now. Big thank you. Carl. Guy Mural Fur. Beer and Blood Bowl. Do it. Now. We always thank him. Email. Because he did it. He took the time out of his busy day, despite what was going on with that man, even though he is no longer with us. And he did it. He nutted up, and he did it. Put it on his big boy pants, and he created the email jingles. Another one who put on his big boy pants is my bro, Evan. Love him. Made intro, outro music before the end of the show. And he developed the scrote. He developed the scrote and made that music because he's creative and he's a genius. And, you know, yeah. That's it. That's the ending spiel. I don't know if that was any shorter than what I normally do, but yeah, anyway. Dark Commission. Take care of your peeps before they take care of your shit. Yeah, exactly. Bayushi. Bye, Kris. Well, we don't say bye. We always say later. We don't say bye. Later. Bye is so final. Bye. You know what I mean? We're never going to see you again. Bye. Right? You don't know. You don't know what paths one will take. It's always later. See you later. Right? See you later. Because you don't know. You might see him later. Right? Whereas bye is so final. It's final. Bye. Oh, goodbye. Jeez. Okay. Whereas, see you later. In Ojibwe, it's Bama-P, but yeah. Anyway. I'm getting the hell out of here. I gotta take care of shit. I'll see you guys later. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you, and I will see you guys later. Later. Or bye. Not bye-bye. Like, you swing both ways. I mean, like, bye. See? That's why don't say it bye. Just say later. Later. Right? Later. When's it happening? Don't know. Later. Well, when's later? It's later. Now is now. Later is later.